Hey, everybody, it's Tuesday, October 8th, 2024. Welcome to the Giant Bombcast, episode 861, powered by NZXT. I am your host, empowered by friendship, cups of coffee, your listenership, and pictures of cute dogs, Jana Choa, the cutest dog in games media, the cutest dog, and he's got two dogs in him. Jeff Grubb.
Whoa. Ruff. Detroit what? Scooble Cy Young. You kidding me with Class A? Get out of here with that horse shit. Shit. Detroit what?
That's right. He's all juiced. He's all amped from watching America's Pastime. And speaking about America's Pastime, we have America's past, present, and future. That's right. We're officially announcing today that Dan Reichert is announcing his bid for mayor of we haven't decided where yet, but we're announcing
Kingstown, whichever one that
Minnesota, the mayor of Minnesota.
Mayor of Minnesota, yes.
Mayor of Minnesota.
Famous
we haven't decided the
political
year,
position, mayor of Minnesota.
but we're teasing it. This is like an announcement of an announcement.
It's
Dan
a pre-announce, yeah. It's
Yeah.
like 2028, absolutely.
Right.
Reichert.
Exactly.
Dan, are you still running on the no bees policy, or are we good on bees now?
It's getting to be winter. It's getting colder out, so I think bees are going to be less of a problem. So I'm not going to be thinking about bees until they appear again, and then I'll remember that bees exist.
Yeah, that's rough.
What's a winter problem in Minnesota besides snow?
It's the problem, Minnesota.
All right.
Yeah, that's it. Just the roads, the freezy cold, all that stuff. It's bad.
Just just as we're talking about cold and freezy, we've got the iciest man. We've got the meanest person in games media. That's right, the bad boy from Games Beat, Mike Minotti.
Oh, my baseball team lost, and now I'm mad.
That's right. Detroit what?
Well, you're one. Okay, we're 1-1, and that was the one game you had to win, and it was still
For
close.
sure.
All right,
It was
don't
a
get too
good
excited.
game. Yes, it
Well,
was.
yeah, it was a good game. Yes.
Here's how much of a weird bubble I live in. I saw pictures of Mike and Grubb together in the stands of an event, and I was like, "Oh, is there like a house show?" And what's going on?
Listen,
Like,
fair and safe assumption. That's fine. We get that.
I forgot
Yeah.
that actual sports exist.
Yes.
Why don't we have more wrestling shows in baseball stadiums? I feel like it'd be a fun,
It
messed
used
up
to be more of a
perspective.
thing.
Was it?
Like in like the Von Erichs era and stuff like that, and Shea Stadium had a couple big shows and things like that. Like used to happen more. Now
Yeah.
I feel like AEW's run a couple in baseball stadiums.
I don't
The
know.
Royal Rumbles recently have been like the Arizona Cardinals Stadium was one.
Yeah. I wish there'd be
I think
more.
the Diamondbacks might have been one. Yeah.
Yeah. What,
More
like, I feel
offensive
like-
baseball stadiums in general. More concerts happen, but I want even more. I think they're always neat there.
Yeah, I feel like the angle at which the stands are angled in a baseball stadium, maybe not great for wrestling.
That's why the Rumble has the big like curve.
Yeah.
Like where was it? We went to the Brown Stadium for SummerSlam, right?
Right, and that was
Yeah.
good.
Okay, that was good. I enjoyed that.
Mike Grubb, I appreciated monitoring and watching your date happen yesterday.
We had a very good time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
like,
awesome.
I was
Good
a little
day.
jelly. I'm like, oh wow,
Yeah.
look at these two chums chumming.
It was like
Yeah.
50 degrees out. It was like 58 or whatever. It was crisp
Yeah.
and
Who
fall
bought
and amazing.
drinks?
And we drank a lot. It was good.
We got
Who
some
bought the drink,
barbecue
though?
from Mabel's. It was good.
Yeah. And Mabel's is supposed to be closed on Mondays, but they actually opened up because the baseball game was happening. So
Yeah.
good barbecue. Yeah.
I haven't been following baseball this season. What's the baseball and looking like?
Shohei Ohtani, very good still, apparently. The Yankees are very good, but they're struggling a little bit because Aaron Judge doesn't hit in the playoffs, apparently. And Tigers have had the best team since August. So I'm really hoping they can pull this off.
Yeah.
Nolan Ryan still playing?
Yes.
Okay, obviously he's got to be old now.
He's 100, but he still throws 100. So
nice.
yeah,
Okay.
they make a big deal out of 100 for 100. Yeah.
Oh, nice. That's
Is
cool.
Barry Bonds still playing?
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Is he still on the
He changed
road?
his name to Kerry Bonds, and he's white now and plays for the Tigers.
Whoa.
Yeah. It's pretty cool how that worked out. Yeah.
That
Lucky
was
for us.
Barry Bonds? Wow.
Yeah, Kerry Bonds. Again, he changed his name.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Yeah.
Right. You just add a B to someone's name, and they're a completely different person.
That's right.
They can't be traced
Bike,
back to any
The
kind of crime.
naughty bike.
I knew he was immediately going to go to his own.
Gee, what name could I add B to? Well, my own.
I mean, is that not the first one you think of? Not your own names. I mean mine.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
At least he's
exactly.
up front with with it. He's not. We know Mike at this point, right?
Oh yeah.
Bike.
All right. Is everything else cool? Is everyone else doing fine? Anyone else?
Jan, how are you doing?
Yeah, we're fine. I made this discovery last night. All right. Okay. The margarita buzzball, right?
Oh.
Of course.
Mixes very well with orange juice.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also remembered I don't like sweet liqueur or liquor. I do like dingy dark bars.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still on the fence on whether or not I like Fernet.
Sure.
I remembered that vodka Red Bulls are very dangerous, but oh so delicious.
Yeah.
I also still don't like clear alcohol because brown is good for the get down.
Sure. Yeah, that's fair.
I feel like this
trust
is like
clear
a
bot.
case of the Golden Idol puzzle where it's like, okay, I have to like write down all these things and figure out which thing he drank at this murder scene.
But yes, over the weekend, I went to our dear friend Emma Fife's wedding. Lovely, gorgeous wedding.
Congrats, Emma and Gabe.
The most well-planned wedding I've ever been
Of course,
I
I
believe
expect
that.
nothing
Yeah.
less.
right? I told this on Game Mess yesterday, but we were by a train track, and I was worried like that the proceedings would be interrupted constantly by a train, and then we get to the vows, and it gets to Emma's, and then I'm just so worried because like Emma looks great. It's been a great day. Weather in LA is beautiful. I look beautiful, but that's besides the point. I shouldn't be trying to steal the show from the bride. Anyway, Emma starts her vows, and the whole time I'm on pins and needles waiting for this train to pass by. And then she finishes her vow. They exchange the ring, and then the train goes. And then everyone at our table was like, "That's Emma Fife for you."
There you go.
Do
Master
you think she
of
knew the
timing.
train schedule?
I am dead set that she did.
I
could
believe
see
that
it.
she does. Yes.
I could
Yeah.
see it.
Yep.
I'm also half convinced that there wasn't a shoot train and that it was all a work.
Oh,
yeah.
it was a wedding train.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a wedding train because
That's,
like there were
good
giant
movie.
hedges, and I never saw the actual train.
Oh, okay. Good sound system.
Good sound system, maybe. Yeah.
Maybe.
One of the funniest things I've ever seen, and apologies if you've heard this before, is going to a wrestling event in like rural, like small town Minnesota, and the Honky Tonk Man was there. And he went out. It's clearly a thing where Honky Tonk got paid a couple grand, come out there, sing a song, do his finisher without bumping for his own finisher and then leave. And he comes out there, clearly not into being there. And it's at like a street fair thing, and it's by train tracks in some little town. And he comes out and he just wants to get through his like little 2-second promo so he can get the match done and go home. Fucking train comes by immediately, and it's the longest train that's ever existed. And so you just see Honky initially get like really pissed off and look at this train, like, all right, haha, kind of playing to the crowd, like, oh, gotta wait for this train. And then it just keeps going and keeps going, and he just goes into the like turnbuckle, leans against the turnbuckle, watching him like do the mental math of like, when am I getting the fuck out? Like, am I just gonna leave? Do I need to do this promo? I will get on a plane right now. It was like a 5-minute train. Honky Tonk Man getting so pissed.
I love that the Honky Tonk Man is a reoccurring character in your life, Dan.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of places in your life. Yeah.
Mainly that was the night I drank with him.
Oh,
Yeah,
Dan, I
yeah.
remember this past Mania, you running into him at the
Oh,
bathroom.
I forgot about that one. Yeah, where I found out he had heat with Adam Cole. Yeah, that's right. Honky Tonk Man was accosting fans in the bathroom for wearing Adam Cole shirts.
Incredible.
Talking mad as shit to perhaps the nicest guy in the world.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't think Adam Cole knows he has heat with Honky.
I bet not. I bet he's got other things going on.
You know what? I'm on Adam's side on this one. I think.
No way.
Generally in arguments with the Honky, unless it's Jerry Lawler, I'm going to take the anti-Honky Tonk side.
Anti-honky side. That works on so many levels. It's great. Gentlemen, anything else before we get to the video
I don't know. I feel
game?
like Jeff and I should have some like fun goofs to share about yesterday, but we mostly just had fun. It was mostly just
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was we just kind of If you watched the game, I was like, there were a lot of Tigers fans at the stadium, but not in our section. I was isolated, but I tried to like tone it down a little bit. It was very hard when the 3-run home run happened. I kind of exploded after that. But
he just attacked me a lot, which is fair.
Yeah. I punched him in the arm quite hard. But it was like it was crazy because that home run, it like was hit very hard. It was up in the air for like 7 seconds or something like that, and it's like you could hear everyone stop breathing, and then when it finally lands, only like me in this section screaming and everyone else is dead quiet. It was a good cathartic moment. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. I want to give a special shout out specifically to Nikki Grayson for letting me crash at their place.
Oh sure, yeah.
And putting up with my drunken hijinks as I'm writhing around their floor at like 3 a.m. in the morning, getting very emotional about the state of my life. But also they showed me the steepest hill in Los Angeles.
Oh,
wow.
All right.
Yeah. That was great. They just asked, "Do you want to see it?" And I'm like, "Sure."
like
Part
middle
of the
night?
writhing dealing with seeing this hill, you're like, man, that
No.
was a steep hill.
Yeah,
Did
I thought hills were my thing as a San Franciscan. I'm
Sure.
like, oh God, other places have hills. This is all I have.
Did you
This is
go
all
running up that hill?
Shawn Michaels Undertaker.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
No, we went driving up that hill, and then
We're driving up that hill.
and we went to the turnout. And then I had like a very good cup of Spro. Anyway, video
Good
games.
Cup of Spro.
I still don't know if I've heard the shoot version of Running Up That Hill. Only
It's
the
not
Shawn
as
Michaels
good.
Undertaker version.
It's not as good as the
Okay.
It's
better one.
really good. That's crazy. That's
that's not as good.
crazy
Mike.
thing to say.
It's more
I've
like
only heard that in context of Shawn
It's
Michaels Undertaker
not
WrestleMania
as
26.
good. Like that's one of the best promos ever. The original version's so good.
I believe it. I
it
believe
loses
it.
a lot of the gravitas. I don't know. It's more of like
I'm
a
not mad at
dance
you, Dan.
EDM thing. I don't know. You Dan, you go listen
Is
to
it
it. You let me know.
song?
You
Wait,
go
what?
listen to the original, Dan. Let me know
How
if
is
you
it
like it as
EDM? I
much.
thought it was like 80s.
Did you say EDM?
He
said
said it was an
EDM.
EDM thing.
I may not know what EDM is.
Clearly.
It's like a bit electronic-y. It's like kind of, I don't know.
I don't know if I've heard a Kate Bush song.
You have because of the running up
Well,
the
I've
hill
heard the
songs.
wrestling
Yeah.
version that's not
Right.
by her, or it's by her. It's not sung by her. Yeah,
Who sings that version? Is it?
Placebo.
Vince
Placebo, right.
McMahon.
I think it was originally in Vampire Diaries because I remember listening to it on Spotify and it was like Vampire Diaries or whatever it was. Official soundtrack.
Placebo? Oh, like that band from the 2000? Yeah, I guess it would be, huh? All right.
Yeah,
Weird.
yeah.
Okay, all right. Jeff Grubb, I haven't heard of this game. Pinball Spire, or what's happening?
Yeah, it's one of these video games where they take pinball and then they kind of make it an adventure game where you're exploring a larger map and similar to Yoku's Island Express.
Yeah.
A little bit more like pixelated in its presentation, but it feels really good. The pinball stuff feels very accurate, very physical. And the character that you play as, this little, I guess you play as the pinball board, but your guy that you're knocking around just got little big eyes and he's a ball. That's it. And it is pretty good because it gives you these small sections of a pinball table, and you could pause the game at any time by clicking in the left stick, and that gives you a cursor. And then you can hover over all of the elements of the table, and it tells you what they are and kind of what you need to be doing to like get them to do the thing you need to do to progress. The thing about pinball tables a lot of times is there's a lot of complicated elements, and you need to take time to figure out what they do so you can like get a high score. So here it's like, well, that knowledge is in the game. You can figure that out. Now it just comes down to execution. And then on that side of things, they got like a mana magic system where you can slow down time. And if your ball guy is on one of the flippers while you slow down time, it'll give you the trajectory, the estimated trajectory, like the little dotted line to show you where it's going to go. So you can really just dial in and feel really good about the shots. And it's a pretty, like, it all just feels really good together. And then once you get through one of these sections of the table, most of the time, between like one or two sections, you're going to get to one of these save zones where you could just save your progress and then you go to the next one. So it doesn't feel like one of these ones where, as you're moving up vertically, let's say you have a bad shot and it goes right down the middle, there's not going to be a time where it's just like goes down 5 boards and you lose a ton of progress. You can lose a little bit of progress. You can't lose a ton. So it mostly feels like, okay, I'm just kind of moving through this table here. And it's really well done. I've played for a couple hours on Steam Deck. It runs really good on there. And if you're someone who's like in the mood for pinball at any time, I think this is a good one of these, especially if you like Yoku's Island Express, which I liked a lot. I don't think I loved it. Like that was the Metroidvania one. There hasn't been a lot of Metroidvania stuff here, but there are like, you can see like these lanes sometimes going across the table. You're like, how do I access that? And it's like, oh no, that's something you're going to do in another room, and it's going to loop you back around through here, and you're going to be able to get all the coins inside that path.
Oh, so it's a Sonic Spinball-like.
It's a Sonic Spinball-like, yeah.
Lovely.
I like the idea of Yoku's Island more than I liked playing it, I think.
Same.
But hearing you talk about this and looking at the image, it almost has like a Dead Cells type. If Dead Cells was pinball, this looks like a good Steam Deck game that I should probably have on there.
Yeah, it kind of feels like, you know, if Nintendo made a Kirby pinball like exploration game for the Super Nintendo.
Okay.
It kind of like it reminds me of like kind of what that would be like. So yeah, pretty happy with this, pretty impressed by it. And I think if I were to present it to Bacalar, you know, it's video game pinball, so he's immediately going to have some animosity toward it. But I think he would like mostly give it the thumbs up of approval.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And also, I asked Google if Kate Bush is EDM, and it said no, Kate Bush is not EDM, but her music is considered to have introduced electronic music to a generation of music fans.
Was she like the first DJ Ass Tits?
The original DJ Ass Tits.
I can't even play along with this work. No. Not at all.
Google AI on your side, Mike. Wonderful.
EDM, right?
DJ Ass Tits is a genre of her own making.
Okay.
Genre defining and breaking.
So Kate Bush is to EDM what like George Clinton was to funk, right?
No.
Let's just go with that.
Okay.
No, not EDM.
Okay, everyone agrees.
Not EDM. Electronic dance music and
That's what Mike
Running
said.
Up That Hill
Mike.
by Kate Bush are very far away.
I'm trusting my friend Mike. He's a
I'm
smart
going to
guy.
say that when I think of EDM, I think of Zed, and that doesn't necessarily line up with Kate Bush.
Lord Zed?
Yeah.
The
From
Power
Power
Rangers,
Rangers, that's
Yeah.
right. I
That
also
That's
think
cool.
of Zed.
He's a DJ now? That'd be a cooler DJ.
He's a
Okay,
great DJ.
all right. Yeah, you're right, Dan. You're right on
He's
this
a
one.
DJ now.
He was tired of doing evil. He just thought, I want to make
Good
an
for
honest
him.
living.
Babyface turn for Lord Zed? Nice.
Just tired of running up that hill.
Yeah.
Shawn
Is
Michaels Undertaker.
Grub frozen? Is Grub frozen, or is he just?
Jeffrey.
Oh, he's frozen, yeah.
Is he just something beside his teeth? Oh, okay.
Oh, I can't hear though. You can't hear.
Oh, you can't hear.
The conversation was so bad. His computer's dying.
He went to go listen to some actual EDM. He went to
okay.
go do some research. He's going to go find that out for us.
Do people still say techno? Or is it,
No.
they say house now, right? Or trap?
No, trap is different.
What's trap?
There's just a bunch of nouns that are genres now, I guess.
Trap music, Mike, is music that I really like, and once you hear it, you would understand. Oh yeah, I understand why Jan would like this.
Okay.
Based off of what I know about Jan.
Does a trap song ever sample Admiral Akbar saying it's a trap? That'd be pretty good.
No, no.
Boom,
You
boom.
should
It's a
get-
trap. Boom, boom, boom. It's a trap. Boom, boom, boom. It's a trap.
That sounded like trap.
Yeah,
You should become
actually.
a trap star.
Hi, Jeff. You can hear us now. I
I
hope.
can hear you now. You guys
you
can hear
heard
me
that.
now?
I hear you.
Yeah,
So we're still not on topic?
No, we've gone
We're
straight to the
talking
emails.
music, you know?
That's a good idea. Straight to the emails is right. That's a good move.
do a shorter
Let's just
tab.
end this show.
I just saw somebody in chat say, I yearn for death. Emails!
The last song I heard was I was watching an 03 Raw, and it was like, I got the drugs, the gun, my generation. It's a trap. Yeah.
So, Pinball Spire seems great, Grub. Do you think your experience would be improved if you got to play it in Tate mode?
Yeah, yes, of course. Tate mode is always superior when you're playing one of these pinball games, but it works really well, across the screen on a Steam Deck. But yeah, I think every game, if it has any sort of verticality to it, should support Tate. I want to turn my TV sideways.
Oh, yeah, let me do that.
Yeah, let me turn everything sideways. Flip it, reverse it.
Boys in the days sitting sideways. I have continued to play a lot more of Kill Knight. I've actually beaten the first level, which
Oh, you
took me a
beat it.
very only one time.
Dance doing the Mike Minotti
All
mugging
right.
at the screen.
He's jibbing the camera.
All right.
He's miking off.
Okay. I'm a little bit more subtle than that. Not really. Holy shit. I think your house shook when you did that.
And God, this is one of those games where it feels like all of my brain is power is being used, because you really do have to rely and get used to the rhythm of firing off your weapons when you need them, because as soon as you're reloading, you start to notice like, oh shoot, I'm really, really low on health. Let me like do the quick suck button instead of the active reload to power up my gun.
Okay, I ever so gently looked at the camera is what I did. Chad knew what he was doing with that one. Quick suck.
This the thing that this game has, though, that I think a lot of other does Hades have a parry?
If you get the shield, does it? Or do you
Right,
throw
the
the
shield probably does have a parry.
It's like a Marvel thing.
But like it's like a like a Marvel.
Yeah,
More
it
of a
does that
dodgy
too.
game than a parry game.
Definitely
yeah,
more
yeah, it's a
dodge,
dashy
yes.
game.
Right. The
Right.
dash, yeah, you have that dash like reflect thing. That's more of a reflect move to
Oh,
me than
yeah.
a parry.
Right, you can get
Okay.
that, yeah.
I'm such a big mark for any time you get a weapon that gets rid of a projectile, because
Sure.
I'd gotten so used to the bigger sword that you start Kill Knight with, and for folks that missed last week, it's a dual stick bullet hell roguelike dealio set in hell. But everything switched up in how I started attacking levels when I got a different sword that has a much smaller area hitbox, but you destroy projectiles that get thrown at you, and then it just switched up the format entirely. And the thing that stinks is that I felt like I'd hit a wall because I couldn't complete some of the objectives that it outlines for you, like get 999 kills in a single layer. And I'm still not quite sure what they mean by layer, because I thought that meant the level, but then it would keep resetting, so I'm still a little bit fuzzy on that. Or other objectives like you need a 500 kill streak, and then you need to parry someone. And that was, I kept trying to get to a point where there is like a specific enemy in a map that pops up, but I keep losing it. But it turns out if you keep grinding away at these specific levels, you can unlock enough currency and use that currency to unlock that objective and complete it versus actually shoot doing it. Kill Knight still highly recommend. It's one of those games though where like my eyes get super blurry after staring at it because I'm staring at it for so long. Also, I just really dig the style of it. This is another year for like good ass style games.
A lot of strong style out there, absolutely.
A lot of strong style out there.
Strong style.
Hitting really hard in Japan, just like these boys hit hard in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero.
Yeah, I just started this, and mostly out of curiosity because it's getting pretty good reviews, and I think a lot of it's nostalgia. Like, it's fun. It's fun. Like, I get it, but I think even the people who like it will be like, yeah, I'm here because I'm flying around and I feel powerful. I don't think there's going to be a ton of at least in the single player campaign. I bet you could take this online in like ranked mode and have maybe a lot of fun there. I'm just like I'm not going to be there for that most likely. So I'm playing through the campaign, and it just feels a little Spartan and weird where I'll be fighting Raditz, and I'm like, okay, we're in this fight, and I'm battling, and I know how the show goes. He's like, there's going to be kind of a stalemate, and he's going to take the kid, Gohan, and kidnap him. And it does that, but after like the battle ends in this like weird abrupt way that doesn't feel in any way cinematic, and then it plays cutscenes that are just stills with stuff you read in a little bit of voice acting. So that stuff's not great, but then when you actually are in the battle, it's I'm flying in, I'm punching a bunch of times, then I'm trying to get some time to retreat so I can charge up my ki, and then once you have your ki charged, while you're actively charging it, you get the options to do, a Kamehameha or a spirit bomb later on and all that stuff. And it's that stuff feels cool, but I'm not like falling in love with what I'm doing. It just kind of, it's like a basic way to engage with the stuff that looked cool on television. And as a delivery mechanism for all that, it's kind of unassailable. I think, it's doing exactly what you want if you want to feel like you're part of the show. Anything more than that, though, I don't know. It feels like a game that's punching above its weight a little bit. It feels like a C that is, because they're doing everything cool and it looks great and the characters models are so on point that it's like punching above its weight into a B. And I'm kind of fine with that to a certain
I'm largely I really respect fighting games that just have very large rosters, and this game has like 181 playable characters. Like that alone, I'm kind of whoa. I respect that. I want to check it out.
Apparently, it's got a bunch of modes as well. So it's like the campaign I'm doing, I bet is like a fraction of the percentage of what most people are going to engage with.
The way you describe the story mode reminds me of like when you do the like historical, like 40 years of WrestleMania modes or Attitude Era mode, where it's like, okay, you do the match until the point where there was like the DQ finish or the interference, and then it's like a cutscene of this thing. It's like, okay, well, I guess the match is over now.
It feels very in line. Honestly, Dragon Ball and wrestling are the same thing already. So it's 100% kind of like that.
It'd be weird because like I remember even back in the PS2 era, I was kind of tired of all these games just retelling the story of Dragon Ball Z. So in terms of doing that campaign, but like so much of it is Super now, which I've consumed very little of. But like I see just like pictures, I'm like, oh, Goku has blue hair and red hair and white hair, and I don't know which one.
Cat guy, Beerus, he's doing his thing.
People seem to like Beerus. That's fine. He seems fun. Like I know some of this new lore. Like part of me's kind of interested in learning about it. Other part of me's like, it's gonna be weird to like first retread ground. I like tread a dozen times, and then all of a sudden get to this new shit I have no idea about.
Grub, is the story laid out that you can kind of just choose where you jump in, or do they start you at the very beginning?
When I started it, I was like, new game, and there was one option called Goku, and I selected that. And yes, I selected the Goku option, and which is always dangerous, but I did it. And I immediately went into fighting Raditz, and it was the beginning of Dragon Ball Z. So I bet you unlock more story modes, and there's other options on that screen eventually. But as it's presented initially, it feels like this is where you're supposed to start if you want to learn the basics. And they give you a really quick short tutorial. It's a complicated system, I think, in terms of like anything you could be doing at any one moment. And you kind of, I'm like, the tutorial is good at introducing like what the buttons do, how to use them, when to deploy them. I'm still pretty lost on, so I'm trying to play the campaign because of that, in case maybe one day we did want to like play multiplayer and see what that is like. And it's like, okay, I'm still kind of, I'm like, I'm gonna have to do this, and this feels like the only option really. So I'm gonna fight Raditz, and now I just beat up what's his name, the bald guy. And
was Raditz a dude?
Raditz was Goku's brother.
Goku's brother at the very beginning of Dragon Ball.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Especially being cannon through.
Goku like holds him, and Piccolo does his sniper shot through both of them.
Yeah, Goku does too. Yep. The Piccolo steals Gohan.
Oh, I forgot.
Later decided that was a good thing.
Yeah, it was a good sign.
Now I'm your dad.
Yeah. Number one kidnapping of all time, I think.
Yeah. It's fine. Gohan is now has two dads. It's okay. I remember from
one. Let's be honest, and it's not Goku.
Sean in chat, like, this is kind of the feeling I was getting. He said this is an odd one for newcomers to play in 2024. It's not really intended to be an entry point. It's supposed to be a PS2 ass homage game because that's what the Budokai fans have been begging for over a decade. This 1,000,000% feels like fan service over everything else, and specific fan service for fans of those games and Dragon Ball Z. And I think, as someone who likes Star Wars Outlaws, because I think they did a really good job with the fan service there, I get it, and I kind of begrudge it. I don't begrudge it at all. Like, do that. That is almost certainly the right choice for this video game.
Yeah, I remember checking this out and really walking away very positive at Summer Game Fest because of everything that I saw. I think I did that same intro mission, Grub, where you fight Raditz and then the stills. And I wasn't as bothered by the stills because I think, just like you said, Mike, I've just seen this so many times that we don't need to devote like a good chunk of time to this. Like, let's just see the stills and button through the dialogue. Something that they are doing that is interesting in this game is they're kind of doing a Marvel's What If, where they will give you certain scenarios, and then you could see an alternate reality of how they play out. So instead of Goku dying with Raditz, maybe Goku perhaps lives, and then you explore that mini alternate reality. I'm not sure how many points they do this throughout the game.
I've only seen it once, and it's like, do I work with Piccolo or not? Like
Right.
that was the first choice, and I was like, I'm like, the what if is don't work with Piccolo, and what would that have been like? And I'm like, okay, that might be interesting, but my first time through, I'm like, I don't know, it feels like I'm supposed to still work with Piccolo because that makes sense for the fight. Why wouldn't I pick the thing that makes sense? So it does give you a reason to go back. I don't know how appealing that's going to be because I still think these fights are mostly going to feel the same. Like in terms of like what you're doing, maybe some of the options change a little bit, but I'll have to explore that and see.
I'm interested to see because a thing they also showed off at Summer Game Fest, and I haven't seen much chat or hype about this, is folks being able to make their own scenarios with their own characters, and kind of like in that WWE SmackDown style of like, hey, like kind of like a mini GM mode, but instead of like running a full campaign, you're just running a certain scenario and like, hey, you have to fight as this character.
I'm sure.
You have to fight as this character against these three characters. So I'd be interested to see how people wind up making their little mini weird scenarios.
I
think
game
it's
feels
also
very much like bashing toys together in a good way, and so giving people more ways to express that's a good idea.
I think it's very ballsy also to have such a gigantic.
Ballsy.
Okay, thank you.
That's pretty good, Mike.
See, I'm helping.
That's pretty good. Give it up to him for that.
You must be a joy to watch movies with.
I'm sorry, Jen. I didn't mean to interrupt
Or
you.
Gamescom press conferences. That's my birthday. That's the day after my birthday.
Aaron Greenberg appreciated that. By the way, 2 months until my birthday as of right now, today. So thank you for reminding me to bring
you
that
got
up.
very serious about that.
Rob, do your children talk about their own birthdays as much as Mike Minotti, grown man?
It's about equivalent.
Okay.
It's almost exactly equal.
Okay.
Look, I don't want to be in trouble. Dan Ricker's the one tweeting at me while you guys are talking about Dragon Ball.
Talking about that's Steve. How's Steve doing that?
Okay. I do appreciate the Dragon Ballsiness of this to have such a deep roster and to acknowledge, because Dragon Ball as a whole, I feel like has really tried to erase everything about GT.
Sure.
And then like there are GT characters in this, right? I believe I saw Baby is involved.
Oh, Baby's there. Because usually they'll at least give you Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta because people like those designs. But yeah, putting Baby in there, that's pretty rare.
What's Baby's gimmick?
He's just the bad guy of GT. He's
And
just
cannot be put in the corner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I never watched GT. Like I read a Wikipedia about it once.
Is Z like the Attitude Era in that there's all sorts of more, like it's gone on for many, many more years and covers this wide swath of stuff, but people still just talk about Z all the time?
Yes.
People talk about Super now. People like Super still, but like I
so
think there's definitely
Super
still
is like
a
the Cody Rhodes
prestige to
era.
Z.
Yes.
Yes. Well, yeah.
Or I'd say
Renaissance
early
era.
Super is like Super Cena era.
Yes, Cena. Yeah, all the Cena stuff. Yeah.
GT was ruthless aggression.
Yeah.
But not good.
Okay. Wow, this is
But
a
not
pretty
good.
direct analogy here.
No. Okay.
It was the Evolution era.
The better comparison for GT, Dan, is it is the WWE ECW era.
Oh, that's
Okay,
not
yes.
good. That's not good at all.
No, it's not.
Exactly.
Was there like a Bruno Sammartino? Was there anime before Dragon Ball?
Yeah,
The
Dragon
original
Ball.
Dragon Ball was Bruno Sammartino.
Okay, so
Or
OG
Speed
Dragon
Racer,
Ball,
like many other
Bruno,
older things.
Yeah.
like Bob Backlund.
God,
was
I-
like the
Astro
original.
Boy.
Okay.
Folks at home, if you have never seen the original Dragon Ball with Kid Goku, just
Dragon Ball rules.
continue listening to this podcast, but also watch that show at the same time. It's so
Yep, it's
fucking
great.
They
good.
have Kid Goku in this, but I don't think there's any other Dragon Ball like OG characters, which is sad. Like they're not even like evil King Piccolo, which you think we could maybe make it in there.
Where is little Kid Krillin? I
Yeah.
need more little Kid
He was a little
Krillin.
shit. I liked him.
Yep.
Kron
he's
the
my
bald
favorite.
guy?
Krillin's
Yeah.
the bald guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Krillin is the strongest human being. All right, and I think we
That's
all
right.
need to acknowledge that.
And that's why he deserved a robot wife.
Exactly.
I'm gonna guess that epic rap battles of history isn't really hip with the kids anymore. But in the Superman
here we
versus
go.
Goku one,
Anymore?
Superman had a pretty good line where he said, "I'm killing it, you're krilling it." I thought that really got him.
Mike,
Yes.
did I dream this or did you do a gamer rap thing on YouTube once?
Yeah. He did.
You
a gamer
dreamed that.
rap
That's
thing.
not real. Don't worry about
Yeah.
it.
Grab if I wanted to search for this dream on YouTube, what would I look up?
Gamer rap Mike Minotti.
Gamer rap Mike Minotti?
That would never work.
The gamer rap.
The gamer rap, Mike.
You would never
Minotti.
find that. I didn't actually like spend money to license that background beat or anything. You can't just play that now.
Do it.
What if I said something offensive? This was so many years ago.
Mute Mike. Mute Mike.
Fucking calm. Got my Doritos, so I'm good.
Can't do it.
Nacho cheese, bitch. Let's go. I'm a gamer. Hardcore and proud. When I'm in chat, they're whining aloud. I capture the flags.
Why is his voice
protect all
deeper?
my lemons. When I beat Colonel Trigger, I get all the endings.
It goes on for another 3.5 minutes. and
Please
it,
keep playing it. Please keep playing it.
Oh, let me ad lib in the background.
Because I'm too cool. I only play Pokemon in middle school. I'll always win a fight, be it online or LAN, or Dracula sister pondering what is a man. I like to bash Sony because they are down. I like to eat pizza because it is round. I like my girls blonde and their t-shirts wet. When I see Princess Peach, I scream shot and get. My heroes on Ralph are always packing heat. When
It's
I
so
see
good.
beat, I'm always super discreet. Last night I played no Counter-Strike because me and your mom were up all night. And the cops see me. In GTA, they don't mess with me. They stay out of my way. My gamer score eclipses yours. I play Eve when I'm bored. The
I
Wii
was gonna say
sucks.
whores.
Take that nunchuck. Now spread your butts and shove it up. I pirate games.
Okay, now we gotta
deal.
stop it.
If you
Now we
see a
gotta stop
pig, you best not squeal.
oh boy. Okay.
Man, what if this is
God.
the podcast that ends us, huh?
I gotta listen to more EDM. That was great. Fuck.
Mike, you can put it back on. You can put, we're good.
It's good, Mike. It's good.
It's good. You're
It's
good.
Good. Put the
Mike,
now
Mike,
Mike-
put him back on.
Mike Minotti
Mike,
has been playing Resident Evil 3.
put him back on, Mike. Mike, what
Oh,
are
you're
they supposed to
done?
do with their butts?
You're supposed to spread them and shove the Wii nunchuck up there.
Yeah.
The nunchuck. That seems
Yeah.
counterintuitive. You think it'd go
Wii
with the
suck.
Wiimote?
So
Well,
spread your
it's
butts
like
and
the-
shove it up.
Yeah,
You
the
know,
Wiimote.
grab that nunchuck and yeah. You know what? That's pretty good. I think I did a good job
It's
there.
really good. Mike,
There's some good
I
rhymes
love
there.
it.
You eat pizza because it's round. Yeah.
We should
Yeah.
we should remaster that. It would like Taylor does, but like we'll
Oh,
put
yeah.
Mike's version.
Oh, Mike's version. Well, they do. She only does that because then she doesn't have to like share any money with the original like distributor or whatever. Now,
That's why
right?
you're. That's why you would
Oh
do it too.
my
Yeah.
Well, that's why
God.
I'm going to DMCA you guys for playing that on here. But yeah.
Fair use,
That was
fair use, fair use,
transformative.
fair
I don't
use.
know what you're talking about.
I think we should open the next live show with like a mini rap show.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Like-
That'd be good.
Like
don't have shame.
I'll open for Mike, and then I'll just do the One Piece rap, and then Mike and I can do in the end, and then we end with the gamer
Ooh.
rap.
I like
That'd be
it.
good. The game, yeah, there we go. Someday I'll do a live rendition. Look, I'm actually kind of impressed that there's not actually anything problematic that I did there 15 years ago or whatever.
It's,
just talk about
it's
nunchucks and
surprisingly
asses
restrained, and I think the rhymes are good. It's
you.
really fun.
I agree.
You kept on beat the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get to the end where I just started listing off sequel games to finish it off. It's good. There, whoa.
Okay.
That's a good beat.
Resident
I paid
Evil-
for that. This is all on the up and up. I bought the licensing fee for that backing track.
Just see a chat. Spread your butts was restrained.
Spread your butt. Oh, I told somebody to shove a Wiimote up their ass. Oh, you
Nunchuck,
guys are
you said.
fine. You're all
Yeah,
okay.
take your weed shove it is a completely fine thing. Yeah.
You're fine, everybody.
Okay. All right. Mike Minotti, Resident Evil 3. Tell me about it.
Yeah, the remake. I've been kind of playing through a lot of the Resident Evil games because for a while I was a big baby and didn't like zombies and I only played a couple of them. And then, I loved 4 Remake last year, and I had played through the Resident Evil Remake that first came out on GameCube. It's on Steam and places, and Resident Evil 2 Remake. And gosh, they're just very good at doing these remakes of Resident Evil games. So the kind of first spooky game I played for October, and we also did it for our Game Best Game Club that Jeff and I have on our kind of stuff, is Resident Evil 3 Remake, which I was interested in because this is the one that people seem to have less love for. There's kind of some complaints about the pacing and some of the stuff that's not in the original. But like I was kind of excited because 1, I never played the original Resident Evil 3. I don't know if I will. And 2, like that's like the piece of game criticism that usually ages the worst. It's like, oh, this game's too short. It's like at the time, it's like, yeah, you can see how that's a problem. You buy a thing for $60 or whatever. You have some expectations. And then, like, you know, a few years later, if it's just something you get in a humble bundle for like $10 with 15 other games, it doesn't really matter that Resident Evil 3 is 6 hours long. And as this 6 hour long, almost kind of roller coaster ride, like, you know, much more fast paced, it's a lot of fun because it still just has those Resident Evil 2 mechanics. Get a bit more fast paced. You have this dodge thing going on there, and it just goes, right? It is like way more of like if Michael Bay did a Resident Evil game, just kind of more set piece based, not as many puzzles, not like super pure action like a Resident Evil 4, but certainly getting closer to that than what Resident Evil 2 is. I still really liked it as something that I played through in a couple of sessions. Jill Valentine, very cool character. It's always just fun playing as her. Very good boss fights with Nemesis, especially some of the ones in the middle. There's like that bit where he's kind of like running in circles around you, like on the sides of buildings, and you have a grenade launcher with like the mine bombs. You have to like shoot it in front of him. Then when it hits him, he like goes like, you know, falling to the ground. You have to shoot his weak point for a while. Just all feels very satisfying. It's still a very good looking game. God, that RE engine is absolutely stunning. So
I think you playing it now is probably the best way to enjoy it because, like, it was pretty quick after RE2 Remake, which was just such a huge experience. And it was just so well done. Yeah. And then, you know, coming right off the heels of that, with it just being shorter and also, like, didn't have that huge wow factor of RE2 suddenly being like that, it was hard to not compare it, you know? And now it's like removed from that comparison and the price point stuff you talked about, like, I could see it being easier to enjoy. It was never bad. It was just, like, a little, like, it was kind of a come down
comparatively, yeah.
Like somebody has to be the Resident Evil 3 in that series, I guess, right? They can't all just be the best games ever. But there's still a lot of neat stuff. Again, like I never played Resident Evil 3, even the original. And, like my very like uninformed thing was like, doesn't that game just take place in the same place as Resident Evil 2? And you go into the police station for a bit, is all it is. It's pretty neat. My favorite thing about it is that there's still like locks with combinations in there. And they have the same combinations as in Resident Evil 2. And I had like my post-it notes from when I played Resident Evil 2 last year still on my desk. So I was able to actually just use these still to open up these locked crates and whatnot. So that was fun.
Hell yeah. Well, going from one horror remake to another, if you missed Bombcast Revengeance last week, Dan and I chatted about our time playing Silent Hill 2 Remake. I've been playing a little bit more of it, and I just want to reiterate that I think it is a fantastic remake of it. The acting is really top notch in this, and I know that there is the reverence for a little bit of the cheese and the specific character models from the original Silent Hill 2, but I think the way that Bloober's adapted this, and shouts out to Bloober for working really hard. Oh God, Mike.
I've been worried about that.
My arm for a while. It's okay. We're still rolling. I think they have done a really, really good job at it. I still think that the fog is a little too oppressive, and at some point, it's like watching a movie that doesn't need to be in black and white. Of like, all right, we got it. Yep, it's a plot point. The fog is symbolism for this. Okay, cool. I don't know if I want to finish it, mostly because I've seen that there are multiple endings to this game, and they've also added a couple more endings from the original set of endings from the original game. And God, I just don't know if I want to go through everything going on in Silent Hill 2 and how sad and dour of a story it ultimately winds up being, and then to get an even worse ending. I remember Jess was particularly worried that I kept fucking around and like looking at the knife in the original game, because apparently that affects your a meter.
There's a knife ending?
There's yes, my knife's out there. And she thought because I kept looking at it, it would signal to the game that I was thinking of some very unaliving stuff with James' character.
Oh, sure.
And I was not cognizant of that at all.
Yeah, we don't want him to desync. Yeah.
No, we don't want him. No. We don't want him to desync at all. So I'm a little bit worried because I'm assuming that those meters are all still invisible. You don't see any of the choices and how it's going to affect your ending. And I just don't want the bad stuff, guys. I know it's going to be bad.
You
but
want the
I don't
dog
think
ending?
too
I
bad.
know.
Yes, that's what I want.
Just give me the dog. All right, boyos. One more game to chat about before we go to break. And Mikey and I have been playing through this. Metaphor.
Me and Dan have too. We should start. Dan, what do you think of Metaphor ReFantazio?
Boy, it speaks to the history of intimacy and capitalism.
Yeah,
I don't know.
religion is bad, you think? Weird.
Yeah, it makes me think about colonialism a lot.
Whoa!
I like the
And-
way it deconstructs things.
Yeah, and there's no ludonarrative dissonance.
Oh, that's the best part.
Oh,
Get out of
yeah.
here, Ludo narrative dissonance.
Yes, turn-based.
Ennui.
Wow. You guys
Yeah.
are just
Wow.
absolutely crumbling that Astrobot's not game of the year anymore, huh?
Oh, wait, it's
What
not?
are you
Whoa,
talking
whoa,
about?
whoa,
What are you
Mikey.
talking about? No one's playing this game.
What are you
It's
talking about? No one's playing this game.
Nerds
gay.
are.
I know you're not a nerd.
Boy, this game is very, very good. And yeah, you expect it, right? The Persona team really doesn't miss. But I was a little skeptical, like, oh, we're just going to make a fantasy Persona. Like, how daring. It's so clearly from those people, and it has a lot of those Persona trappings, but a lot of it is a bit different than you're expecting, and a lot of it is different in some pretty significant ways. Like the battle system here is quite different. Like you still have to exploit enemy weaknesses to get extra turns, but there's like a resource for that now, and it's for your entire team. Like in the Persona games, especially somebody play a lot of them, it almost started to get a little bit easy with just how comfortable I was. Like, okay, weakness, 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 they're down, using all-out attack. Doesn't really work like that here, and because of that, battles seem a bit more interesting, a bit harder even, and that kind of ties into the job system. And I love any RPG with a job system, which is just like a class system that you can kind of change out at any point. And there's usually a way to get abilities from one job you've like mastered to a certain level into the other one. And that's here too. So you can be like a knight who has all these physical skills, but you can still use that one healing spell you had from back when that character was in the healer class. So just mixing and matching these abilities, and you get that specific ones because like instead of personas, this is what you have. So depending on what your archetype is, that's what your elemental weaknesses are going to be, and that's what abilities you're going to have in your arsenal. So there's a lot of times where I'll like do a fight, and I just am not like, oh, turns out what I brought here is not really going to work. So when I lose, I actually do have to rethink that stuff and set up my team quite a bit, which again, in a Persona game, usually I just go in there with whatever I want, and I'll probably figure it out eventually.
Yeah.
There's a lot more going on here in terms of the strategy.
Especially in terms of beginning a fight from the jump, because you do have the option to scan your environment and you can see the level of enemies and if they're proportionate to where you are, if they're going to be a little bit tougher. But there's also like they have the Persona ambush type of thing where if you sneak up in an enemy, you can kind of break their guard down, and then the game will prompt you when it's time to initiate the actual fight, because you could just kind of melee away at an enemy until their guard meter's down, and then you're like, all right, let's jump them now. And I really like that aspect because I love jumping people.
Right, and that's like all that Persona like style stuff is great, but when it feels the best is when you push that button after you kind of do the hack and slashing, and then they're in the air. You push that button, it like flashes to one of your characters' like faces with this like evil like let's get them grin, and then it goes straight into the battle with that incredibly good battle music. Like again, of course the music is good. Just having like some of that hack and slash flavor in the field when you're doing the dungeon crawling, and if you're stronger than an enemy, you don't have to fight them and get into a boring battle where you're just going to mash the attack button. You just kill them right there on the field like that, and that's super satisfying.
Like Mario RPG.
Kind of like Mario
Or
RPG.
Infinite wealth, you can kind of like
like
quickly
Infinite
auto
Wealth.
through those battles. Yeah.
Boy, the voice acting and just the characters and the writing, like all that stuff is hitting very strongly. And to be clear, I'm only like 10 hours into this game. I'm not super far in, so I haven't.
But
the game keeps adding stuff. I know. I know some people are like, oh, like maybe the game won't click for you unless you're 40 hours in. I can understand how there's going to be new stuff being added to the game, but at least for me, it clicked pretty early. And by 10 hours, I had like done like the first real dungeon, and like the social stuff and the calendar stuff is open up for me. So it still feels like a full game, and I'm grokking it and really appreciating all of it.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, Mike, at 10 hours in, I mean, 10 hours in any game is a big investment, but do you feel like this has got its hooks into you?
Oh, absolutely. And
Yeah.
the hooks were in pretty early on. Even when it was like clear, I'm like, like, okay, this is a lot of more of the setup stuff, and it's being story driven, and I'm not really interacting with all the mechanics that this game is going to have. But still, like, the story is paced well. Like,
Yeah.
it's a slow start compared to video games, compared for JRPGs. Not really. Even compared to Persona games, I think that this probably gets going almost faster in some ways. Like, even early on, when you're not, like, you don't have all mechanics, you're still in a dungeon. You're still doing the fights. You unlock that job archetype system pretty early on.
Yeah. I think other than Persona 5 Royal, this has a very, very quick and very strong start. You get your kind of summoning mechanic of your persona or your I forget what they're called, your archetype.
Archetype, right?
Persona. Yeah. It's just so fucking metal. There's so many times when I'm playing this game and it's just stimulus overload because someone just took off all the style guides at Atlas and was like, no, let's just do everything. Let's literally do everything. And like the music, like Mike mentioned, that battle theme, it's not my normal cup of tea, but I am chugging this shit by the gallon.
So good. This weird kind of chanting thing, and then it gets like very epic, and it starts off as something you're not expecting, then it builds into what you probably would expect from this kind of game. It sounds so good. And again, this cast is already fantastic. I love that. Like every Persona game, like their first party member is usually some kind of loser doofus guy, best friend who I never actually like. And here, like that first person who joins your team, he is just a cool dude. I like him a lot. Then the next one, Hulkenberg, this knight. Oh, Hulkenberg is cool as hell. Just very good characters so far.
Yeah. I especially like when you rank up your social links and it's just like the most stylized. It's like it's number 2 on the Mount Rushmore of video game daps, right? It's immediately right after Cyclops and Ryu, but then it's just like giant text.
Snake and Icon.
Okay, fine. It's 2 and 3. It shares that. And it's just like a firm ass handshake. I'm like, yes, let's go. This is the stupidest comparison I will make about this game, but it is like watching Hot Rod and Popstar, right?
Oh,
and realizing, oh, this is a Lonely Island joint. They're using all the tools that they have, and this is a lonely ass island movie, and that's what this is with Persona. Of like, they've taken every single thing that has hit in the previous games, and they've kind of. This is still a lengthy, beefy game, but they've like cut out a lot of the fat. Like you don't have as many social links here, and I kind of enjoy that. And it does make it feel like the relationships that you do have with your party are more impactful. I love the little dude, Mike. Have you gotten the little dude yet?
I think I know him from the demos. It's the little mouse guy.
Yeah.
His voice was so good when I played it at Summer Game Fest. Because again, it's the archetypes. He looks like a little knight, but in my demo, he was like a mage archetype, and he was just like before he attacks, like, "Think me no mage? I know something of spells." And I was like, that's kind of a cool line. I like this guy a lot.
Like, this game goes so fucking hard. It goes so fucking hard, and I absolutely love it.
It does. And you talked about the social links, and there aren't as many, but they feel more impactful to how they tie into the game here. In the Persona games, increasing your social links is how you get stronger personas. You can maybe unlock some special ones. But here, it's tied into those archetypes, first unlocking them, which is important, but then eventually powering them up. So yeah, I think you get a more kind of a more satisfying power boost in the field with them.
The funny thing that I can definitely see a younger, perhaps collegiate person playing this game, and maybe this is their entry into like the Atlas universe, and seeing like, oh man, the bad guys are called humans.
Yeah.
Does that mean humans are bad?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, bro.
And there is a lot of that meta stuff, like it's like they talk about, oh, there's this utopia kingdom where people aren't as racist, and it's like, oh, where are they talking about? Not Earth, but maybe unearth of some kind. I'm very intrigued. I'm very into. I've been playing it on my ROG Ally X, which I talked about how I like my ROG Ally before, and they sent me an X. Well, I do appreciate that. And like I was playing it on the old one before, and it was sucking through that battery pretty quickly. It's a lot better with the battery on the X, and it's looking very good on there. There's like a little bit of maybe like lesser frame rate when you're in those more populated towns areas, which isn't all that much a problem. But I'm in like the dungeons and the fights. It looks fantastic. So very happy playing it on there.
I have not tried this out on the Steam Deck yet. My attention has been wrapped, and I just want to see it on like the biggest TV possible.
Yeah, I still need to actually try it that way because I've actually only been doing it there. With RPGs, I usually prefer playing them handheld in one way or another so much. I did all of Persona 3 Reloaded or Reload on my normal ROG Ally.
See, Mike, I was thinking I got to circle back by the end of the year to Persona 3. Your hand is up, Grub.
Yeah, I was go. You finish it. I just wanted you to acknowledge that I have a question, but finish your thought first.
I was fully intending to go back and try and clean up all the other RPGs before the end of the year for Game of the Year season. So I thought about going back to Persona, thought about finally finishing Rebirth. But man, playing this, though, it's one of those dealios where maybe Rebirth is too much. Maybe we didn't need all that.
I still like Rebirth a lot, and I kind of like its bloat in a weird sort of way.
Yeah.
But I think this is probably the most important RPG to finish before the end of the year now. Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, that's Like a Dragon, but go ahead.
I love that freak, but I don't know, Grub.
That's fair. Okay, Mike, you're 10 hours in. Jan, how long did you say you were in?
I'm like 40 now.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
So, the things that do have me curious about this is the storytelling and how it Dan was joking earlier. It's like, it's saying something about politics and religion, but I have heard people like say exactly that. Have you gotten a flavor of that, Mike? And how much do you feel is like actually a cogent commentary and stuff that might be interesting to me as someone who likes that sort of thing?
Oh, I think it's very deliberate with that. Religion, I haven't gotten a huge sense of that, but again, there's like different races of people in the game, right? And it's very clear from the beginning, like, some of them are, treated as second-class citizens, and some people are upset about that, and maybe some of the kind of people, there's sort of a Game of Thrones thing going on here. People are vying for the crown, so some people are going to use that, dissatisfaction maybe on their side, but they're not going to follow through with it. It's a very big part of what's going on in the story.
I also think your main antagonist is really well done, because sometimes in Persona games, it's kind of vague as to like, all right, who are we fighting? What are we fighting? But here, just from the jump, is like, no, that motherfucker, he's bad. He's cool, but he bad.
Right. I mean, when you start the game, it like shows you the cutscene of him doing a bad thing. Dan, do you have a problem with Woodpecker?
It's crazy right now. Normally they're always pecking, but like I'm hitting the walls. I'm muting because I'm being professional. But I'm banging on the walls, and I feel like the woodpecker is like challenging me and like hitting back harder as I'm hitting. I need to go check the side of my house. I'll be back. Keep talking about anime.
Oh God! What if Dan got killed by a woodpecker?
That's the only thing that probably could kill him.
They'd befriend him.
Yeah,
I
that's
think they
more
just wanna
likely.
say hi.
Okay, so every time I ask someone this, they pretty much agree. It'd be listen. I like a Dragon, and I like Super Mario RPG, and I remember liking Final Fantasy VI. I think the thing that these days it's like if it is super talky before I'm getting into fun stuff. Again,
it's hard because to me, and I play a lot of RPGs, I'm like, I think this one gets going pretty fast actually. Yeah. But people are gonna have different tolerances for that. Like for you, I'm not sure. It might still seem talky. It helps so that it's all really good talky again, like very good voice acting. Right. If you're playing in English. Just the presentation looks nice. A lot of things are intriguing. It's straightforward. It doesn't have some of the Kingdom Hearts stuff, let's say, of nonsense. Everything is intense and a lot, but also understandable.
Yeah. I do get a little intimidated by hearing 100 hours long, but I spent 60 hours in Like a Dragon or something like that. Yeah. So it's not impossible for me, but
try the demo, see what you think.
I'm going to try. I just got it on the Steam Deck. I'm going to install it there. Hearing it runs pretty good there. It locked at 30 with the HDR. So I'll check that out.
I was going to recommend for folks that if anything that Mike and I have said about Metaphor, if you've seen all of the glowing reviews, go check out Jessica Cogswell's review on GameSpot.com. Very, very well written.
God, what a year for RPGs. Holy shit.
What a year. But if any of this has been interesting, please go check out the demo. And I think you'll learn very quickly whether or not this game is for you, or even it stylistically, because I wasn't immediately wowed by the setting or the story. I was just like you, Mike, of like, I don't really want fantasy. But the style alone and like the voice acting and just the way and the type of story they were telling, it was just like, all right, let's lock in, baby.
By the way, not that the main character is super talky, but I'm so glad it's not a silent protagonist. I'm kind of so over that. Like, look, so I'm sorry, Persona 3. There's nothing you can do to make me think that this tiny Japanese 16-year-old teenager is Mike Minotti, right, in name, or like I do not project onto these silent protagonists. It never works that way. They always say that. Like I don't think I'm Gordon Freeman. I don't think I'm Chrono. Characters should just talk now, unless you're like a Mario or something like that.
When the character treats their sword like a skateboard, then I relate to them. Otherwise,
of course,
that's pretty good. That's pretty good fashion. Oh, look, Dan's alive.
Or could be a bunch of woodpeckers in a suit.
Oh shit. Dan, are you the real Dan, or are you a bunch of woodpeckers wearing your flesh like a suit?
I saw him. I saw the goddamn thing. Disheartening, because I literally last week spent several $1,000s installing intimidators on the side of the house. So it's all these spinny metal things and everything, and got all the previous holes patched up. 19 holes got patched up. There were birds living in the walls, spent thousands of dollars, and now it's right back, and it's like pissed off, and it's like making a statement right now.
When I don't mean to get dark here, but are you considering killing the woodpeckers?
I did ask someone in my family who knows about house stuff and actual handy stuff. Like, hey, what do I do? And he's like, oh hell, you just gotta just shoot him, just shoot him. And it's like, well, A, I don't have a gun. B, I like birds and animals and don't want to hurt them. C, federally illegal, I believe. So several reasons I don't want to kill the bird. But God.
Can you like shoot them with Nerf darts to annoy them? Like, is that illegal? It's probably also illegal.
I don't know.
I mean, like,
I'm fine annoying them. Well, it's like, the thing is, it's on a big hill, so it's like, even now, I ate shit in a bunch of leaves out there trying to check, because like I'm trying to like scoot down the hill to see them,
camera footage of that?
Slipped and fell. There's no footage of that. No, I did get a picture of the woodpecker. I don't know if you'll be able to see much here, but
right. Very few things more intimidating to birds than gun. So
it's that little dot there. That's the guy right on the other side of my wall there.
I see the little guy. Yeah.
Dan, when you say you've installed intimidators, I do just imagine like guns pointed out at like where the woodpecker would be.
No, they're just spinny, like they look like
Macho Man Randy Savage faces.
That would intimidate me.
No, they're like Lisa Frank, like glittery, like spinny things. It's I got 4 of them, and god damn it. Yeah. I don't know what to do.
We'll figure it out together, bud.
You guys have learned to live with them. I think maybe invite them to dinner.
They're breeding in my walls.
Maybe you should max out your social link with the woodpeckers.
No, I refuse.
Maybe that's a cool archetype.
Yeah.
Maybe like do something to the mama woodpecker so when her babies are born, they imprint on you and like assert your dominance. It's like your family's now mine.
Dan become daddy.
Become daddy, Dan.
It's weird that they like your house so much more than just the trees that are back there.
Yeah, they should
house has heating.
Should go to town on that. Oh, is that the thing? The heat? Oh, and it's getting colder now too. Oh,
I don't know.
I'm sure it doesn't like hurt.
Folks,
hey, is there any percentage chance I would like metaphor ReFantazio?
No,
not at all.
Okay.
No, we're telling Dan to try it. You don't try it.
Okay, I was debating like, should this be one of those things where I try to expand my horizons?
I guess I know, but it's like you did like a dragon, but I guess
I love the dragon.
The goofiness helped a lot there. This game's taking itself very seriously.
Yeah,
I think you have a hard time with that.
Dan, do you ever play the Fire Emblem games? I can't remember.
I like Fire Emblem a lot because I hate everything but the battles.
Sure,
the battles are awesome. I hate having to go, touch a face and hang out in a castle or whatever. Like that stuff.
You're not a real gamer.
That's all I want to do. I just want to touch faces and hang out in castles.
Reach out and touch face.
Yeah, that's why I like Advance Wars too. It's just like let's just do a bunch of cool battles. That's great.
True. Very little face touching.
20 seconds of anime talking in between I can handle.
No,
but
not
I don't want to
Dan.
make relationships.
Yeah,
No, it is. Don't just don't do it. Grub, maybe.
I also don't love making relationships in video games. Yeah,
there's no dating in this one, which I think at least I think, right? And I think that some people are not into that, I'm like, yeah, I don't need that in every single game.
Fine. Yeah, I don't need that. I don't need that.
We could just be friends.
Yeah, we could just be friends. We can just lean a head on a shoulder, and then that's it, and that's fine.
While you were talking about that, I was scrolling through the list of Atlas games, and I realized this fucking company has been around since 1987 across every console possible, and I don't think I've played any of their games. I think most of them I probably just saw anime box art.
Did you play Catherine? That's anime.
Nope, I did not.
This is from the Catherine team,
You would like
or
Catherine?
Catherine
I like
producer?
Catherine.
Catherine
Yeah.
was the Persona team, or at least Persona people involved in that. So yeah, I bet some people who made this game worked on Catherine.
They did
Absolutely.
Friday the 13th for NES, which I played at a friend's place briefly. They did Amazing Tater on Game Boy, which looks fun.
Good
but
name.
then the rest looks very anime.
Never played Jack Bros for the Virtual Boy?
Oh, I
No.
played Jack.
All right.
Wait, what's it
Jack
called,
Brothers.
Mike?
Jack Bros. Okay, that's a stretch. That's a stretch.
All right, folks. Look forward to more Metaphor ReFantazio talk. We're going to have a BCR later this week dedicated to Metaphor. We got Lex Luddy on deck, Jessica Cogswell. We're also going to try Turbo Sean and myself will also be there. And Mike, if you want, there's always a spot open for you, baby.
We'll see. Like I said, I'm only 10 hours and I want to play more. So if I have maybe something new to say about it, but if there's more informed people than me, I might cede the floor. We'll see.
We're also
But
going to try.
I love seeing myself on content, so I might show up anyways.
And if we don't get this Mike, we're going to try and get my boy Michael Heim on the pod as well to talk about Metaphor and how much it has made Michael and I cry. And folks, we're going to have ourselves a good cry. We're just going to, we've beat the first segment. We beat it, folks. And now we're going to cry.
Not
And
looking at
then-
the camera.
Just like every time.
And then we're going to talk about the news right after this. Dan, take us away with an emotion in your face. Breaking news. Breaking news. Jeff Grubb has been whisked away to a different place in time, a different place in the universe. He is now reporting live from the Dark Universe.
That's right. I got my Dark Universe hat from community member.
From nobody who knows. Yeah, it's a mystery.
Oh, it's supposed to be a mystery? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, go. I'm glad you were here to save me. Well, thanks for the hat anyhow. I can't get this out of my head. I learned I had like a Roman Empire fact of the week happened to me where I'm like, why is it called romance? Yeah, I was like, why is it called romance? So I looked it up. It's because romance was an idea that happened in the Middle Ages of like a knight like courting a lady, and all of those books were written in the Romance languages, which are based on Latin, which come from Rome. And I'm like, wow, that's weird.
Yep, it's all about Rome.
Yeah, it all goes back to Rome. Wait, what? Yes, yeah, generally. All right, and here's some news. Thanks for dealing with me while I couldn't get that out of my head, or I had to get that out of my head.
Halo, here, Dan.
Halo's 343 rebrands and confirms multiple games coming using the Unreal Engine. Halo developer 343 Industries is no more. It has been rebranded to Halo Studios and announced that it's working on multiple Halo games developed with Unreal Engine 5. The switch to Unreal aims to address issues experienced with Halo Infinite, specifically the number one complaint, which was there is not enough content coming out frequently enough. This will be able to make that easier because, one, the tools will be easier to work with, and two, they will be able to hire more people who are more familiar with Unreal Engine because those people are out there, and Slipspace, the engine they were using before, was proprietary, and everyone had to be trained on how to use it. The studio also says they're making changes to its culture and workflow. In fact, they're like developing a huge program to improve that while also making tools and best processes to work on Unreal Engine. As far as Halo Infinite's concerned, it will continue for now with some updates for now, but it is certainly not the future of Halo in any way in this moment.
They used to talk about that game's going to last for 10 years all the time?
Yeah, they stopped talking about that a few years ago.
A long time ago. Greg, we talked about this yesterday in Game Mess, and initially I was kind of like, okay, this is cool that you can pump out more content, but now I'm thinking from the dev side, and now it just seems like, all right, we can exploit people faster and get rid of them faster to find cheaper labor.
Yeah, I mean, clearly these companies are trying to make more, but while also paying the least amount possible. But the good side for developers is now, come work at Halo Studios, and the work you do here will be or the skills you learn here will be transferable to every other studio that uses Unreal Engine, which is way more than the one that used Slipspace. Now, of course, those skills also were transferable, but just not in the exact same way. So I think this will be more enticing to candidates. So there's some upside for everyone involved here. But yeah, they definitely want to get more juice out of squeezing their employees from this, clearly. But Halo needed something. They needed some changes, and this feels like a big reset that could provide the foundation for something in the future. I don't think this guarantees anything. Like Halo's big return is not a guarantee now, but it feels like it's increased the odds of that happening.
The whole reason that you announced this with a fancy video, I mean, this is a recruitment drive more than anything else.
Yes, they are hiring a lot of people as part of this, they said.
Yeah. What do you think they mean by multiple Halo games? The only things I can think of is, so the next Halo. Then there were rumors about remaking Halo 1 again, and then maybe a separate free-to-play Halo Battle Royale finally. Like maybe it's those three projects.
I mean, Halo Mobile. Jim was saying that on the show yesterday as well. So I think they would count that as something. I think it's probably like that spread that you mentioned there. There could be a chance that it's like, and there'll be a very story heavy spin-off of the Halo universe or something like that, or maybe even Halo Wars returns again.
Did that go so well?
I think they did okay.
I was like the idea of that. And I like the idea of that and Gears Tactics more than I liked playing them.
Gears Tactics is fun.
They made two of them, or Halo Wars, right?
Yeah, but it was never like. It was never 343. Now Halo Studios making goes. I guess they were part of it, but like Creative Assembly.
Yes,
was
totally.
So I guess maybe.
I remember when they announced Halo Wars 2, the announcement, people were like, "Really? Huh?
Yeah,
another one of those."
That's true. Yeah, most people do not play those games.
Slipspace, or did Halo Wars use the Slipspace engine or something else?
They probably would have used whatever Creative Assembly uses for Total War. I would imagine. Right? Is that them?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, but still, like, this is just them saying there's multiple Halo games in the works. Obviously, Halo Studios is probably working on most of those, and they are very likely traditional Halo games in most ways. But I mean, what's the Halo game you guys most want to see from them that would get you the most excited? Because I don't know.
I liked Halo Infinite is the thing. It's like part of me's like, just like make one of those that other people seem to like more, I guess, so people will play with me more.
So they'll come play with us. Yeah.
Like, I mean, maybe make the story a bit better, right? Like they've had problems with kind of I mean, they almost kind of have the Avengers Endgame problem, right? Where like Halo 3 finished the fight. Oh, you finished it. And then everything you've kind of tried to do since then, story-wise, has been that tries to move things forward has been a bit of a struggle. And you kind of set up things like Evil Cortana that people don't really embrace. And you kind of like, I don't know what we're going to do with this. So it kind of has a wet fart of a solution. Introduce new characters that people don't really glom onto. So it's really difficult to do another Halo set like that. It's like maybe you need to do another Halo Reach thing. Maybe you need to do a prequel or an in-between kind of thing set before the end of Halo 3 and give us something in that kind of, how we get a million Star Wars things that are in between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Maybe you got to do a little bit of that.
And maybe we need a Halo Squeakquel or something.
The Squeakquel. That's
I would love another ODST approach.
ODST would be fun.
Smaller scale one.
Yeah. Smaller. Like hot take, y'all. I don't care about Master Chief.
No,
it's not a very interesting
boring
character.
Yeah,
he has an interesting backstory, but doesn't really ever seem to play into things too much. I don't know.
The one thing I really didn't like about Infinite was just the way the story was presented. Well, I mean, I don't care about the story either, but the way it's presented is just a hologram talking at you about space stuff. And I was so bored every time it made you do that.
But I did really like the open world approach to that game a lot. I thought the grappling stuff felt really good. I thought multiplayer was a ton of fun. I had some gripes with, they weren't releasing content to the speed a lot of people are used to, and I didn't love some of that daily challenge stuff, right? Like, kill 5 people with a pistol. I'm like, well, I don't want to use a pistol, right? That kind of stuff is annoying. So I don't think you need major adjustments to just make a more popular Halo game. Part of the problem is that, that fan base did turn against 343, and I think that's why you have the name change in a lot of ways. Something about just the title 343 Industries somehow became toxic.
Yeah.
So they had to change the name, and I guess the only thing you can change it to, so you're very clear on what you are, is Halo Studios.
Just give me a Bad Batch style game, but with the Halos. Please.
Republic Commando?
Yeah, do that.
Yeah, just make a Republic Commando with the Halo. I mean, yeah, we had something kind of, like, there's a little bit of that vibe in Halo Reach. If you kind of push that more, that could really work.
Like, I just want a good squad. You know?
Yeah.
That or maybe time jump and let's play as somebody else, right? Like, what does the Halo universe look like 100 years in the future? And we're like a new generation of Spartans. There's different characters and different problems happening now.
Yep, I think the most basic thing they can do is kind of what we said first. Make another Halo, but where there is enough content coming out frequently enough for the multiplayer that people kind of can't complain about that. I think if there was a new handful of maps every 3 months, that would go a long way toward keeping people happy. So.
I think the one technological thing you can do to get people excited is to show them an entire Halo and say, this whole thing is an open world. You can walk completely around it. You can start there, go through the whole thing, and get back to where you were. They still have that card to play someday.
Which didn't bother me, but bothered
Well, it's one big Halo. They can make it multiple biomes. Yeah, I didn't care about that, but it was another piece of ammo for the haters. So sure, put a fire level in there or something.
Yep, some lava and a beach. All right. Sega has announced an Alien Isolation sequel. Sega is developing the game with Creative Assembly again. The first Alien Isolation came out in 2014, has become quite a cult hit over time, and now Sega is returning to that with Creative Assembly, and Creative Assembly says that they are early in development. So probably several years away, if not more than that. But I think it's a smart move. It feels like the kind of game that would, if you released Alien Isolation today and had a little bit more of a strong editing hand, that feels like the kind of game that would extremely pop off today. So I think a sequel's a good idea.
I want to play the original pretty badly. One of the things that scares me is this thing floating out there. It's like 18 to 20 hours long.
Yeah.
It's like, ooh, that seems long for that.
Yep. And it is. That's what everyone says. It's long for that game, what it's doing. And that you know why they do that back then, because you got to make it worth. It's got to compete with every other game on the shelf. And I think people are a little bit more okay today with games just being what's best for them. Clearly, they would probably still try to make it feel pretty robust. But I bet this one is not going to be 18 to 20 hours long. Or if it is, they'll have some more variety to keep it interesting. But yeah, I think it's a good move for Sega and Creative Assembly. Creative Assembly was working on, as everyone remembers and laments, Hyenas, which never came out. I know it's devastating to you, Dan, huge Hyenas fan.
Hyenas Mark, yeah. Yeah,
Hyenas Mark, absolutely. But this is like, okay, well, we're not working on that anymore, kind of in a bad way. Our Total War games continue to do what they do, but we need to work on something else. This is the right answer, I think, for that team. Red Dead Redemption and Undead Nightmare have been announced for PC. Rockstar Games has announced the release date for the long-awaited PC version of the original Red Dead Redemption, which never came to PC before. The open-world Western game will be bundled with its zombie-themed expansion, Undead Nightmare. It is coming to the Rockstar Store, Steam, and the Epic Games Store on October 29th, 2024. So by the end of this month, you can finally play Red Dead Redemption on your PC. It'll have 4K resolution, HDR10 support, and full keyboard and mouse functionality. It'll also have like a suite of support for like NVIDIA DLSS and AMD FSR 3.0 and stuff like that. So you get frame generation, although this game should run just about on anything. They just released it for Switch. So if your PC is stronger than a Switch, you're going to be fine.
Oh, that's hard.
More chances to play Red Dead Redemption. Great. I think that game's pretty fun. I've never actually played Undead Nightmare, so maybe this would be a good chance to go back.
I never did Undead Nightmare. I only played through it once, like back when it came out, but I really liked Red Dead Redemption 1. That game hit me very hard at the time. I am kind of curious to go back to it and see if it still hits that hard. It's been a while, but I'm kind of feeling some nostalgia for OG Red Dead Redemption. I want to get to Mexico and have that song play.
Yeah.
I
only played through it once, but I have considered it like the best game of that 360 generation, and that was a stacked generation.
I can totally see that. That or Mirror's Edge.
They definitely not that, but they should have made a sequel to Red Dead Redemption. That game was so good.
Don't make me get into Red Dead Redemption 2 Defender mode with you all.
It's 3 against 1 here, Mike.
Yeah,
you're not gonna win.
Yep.
Oh God, what about better or worse than Horizon? Forbidden West.
I think I'd rather play Horizon.
I think I'd rather play Horizon.
Should we have Wild West week?
Oh God!
Yeah, Wild West,
Sunset Riders. A lot of Sunset Riders.
Sunset Riders would be fun.
Wild Guns. Oh, I like Wild Guns.
Total Overdose, Rising Zan, Samurai Gunman.
Outlaws from LucasArts.
Cowboy Simulator, like probably a bad one of those on Steam. Yeah.
Desperados 3 is actually pretty good.
Desperado.
Yeah, it is.
And one of us goes to a bar with a mechanical bull, and we just see how long we can stay on.
I went on a mechanical bull once. I didn't last too long.
Gun of the bunch, and I always suck at it.
Yeah.
Okay. What's this game? Cowboy 3030 came out earlier this year. What is this? A match 3? Okay. All right. Microsoft is seeking feedback from studios that do not put their games on Xbox. Xbox Research Division is expanding to collaborate with game makers. The initiative aims to address pain points and improve future tools and services. Open to all members of game studios, including non-technical staff. They are seeking feedback from studios not currently releasing games on Microsoft platforms. Basically, they're like, hey, why aren't you putting your games on Xbox? And so, they're going to try to get some feedback here, and they probably will hear a few things like, hey, you could improve your response time when we ask you questions about getting certified, because we have heard some studios say that. But I imagine a lot of studios are going to be like, well, we're afraid if we spend that money, we won't make it back by putting it on Xbox. And if people say that, like, what does Microsoft do to fix that? Yeah, do they say please, or start offering more checks? I don't
batting their eyes.
Yeah. It also, so like as Octo points out, they're just doing this now. Like, feels like this is something you should have been addressing for years now.
Yeah.
I guess that begs the question, what were they doing before to ensure that Microsoft or the Xbox is a place that people want to put their games out? Because clearly just being like, we're selling a ton of Xboxes has not been a winning, compelling argument.
Are they just doing this with the studios they don't want to buy?
Yes,
or can't
I think
buy?
so. Yeah, they'll just buy the rest. Yeah.
I
guess this is how you keep safe from them buying you, is you talk to them about this, and then you know.
What if we start saying we're not going to put our podcast or any of our videos on Xbox? Will they take us out to lunch then?
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Ooh, Cheesecake Factory on Xbox this time.
There we go.
There we go.
I just want Big Phil to like come up to us and be like, guys,
going on?
Well,
wanna
my
come
Arnold
over here?
Palmer is looking a little empty here, looking a little dry over here. Fill me up. There we go.
Fill me up, Phil.
There it is. Fill them up. Google has been ordered to open its Android App Store to competitors. A U.S. judge has issued a permanent injunction ordering Google to open its Android marketplace to competitors. Google will not be allowed to block third-party Android app stores or restrict access to their full catalog of games and apps. Basically, you could always put whatever you want on the Android App Store for the most part, except for other app stores. That was the one thing that was blocked. Now, you could install those on Android, sideload them, something that Amazon App Store did forever ago. But most people don't do that. The vast majority of people are never going to do that. In fact, most people are probably not even going to install third-party stores from Google Play. But now you can. And this is maybe most interesting for our purposes because, well, one, Microsoft has said that they're going to make a mobile app store for their games so that they can have the Call of Duties and Candy Crush Saga in there. And now maybe the way to get those games will be through this new Microsoft App Store on Google Play. But the long-term implication here potentially is, well, if the government believes that competition is best served by allowing other stores onto digital stores that already exist, what is the difference between the Android App Store and the PlayStation Store? Like, why couldn't Microsoft put their store on PlayStation Store? Like, what is the legal reasoning that wouldn't be the exact same thing? So it feels like it's slowly marching towards a world in which stores are forced to open up to everybody. And now suddenly the company that owns Call of Duty can have their own app store on the PlayStation Store, and you have to buy Call of Duty directly through them. And that means that PlayStation no longer gets the 30% cut.
Oh,
That's a possibility now, it feels like. And at least that's how it's going to work on mobile. That is exactly what's happening here, that these companies are going to have ways that they no longer have to give the 30% cut to Google. And eventually, probably iOS. iOS won their court case in a different court. But Epic's, I think, appealing that. Meanwhile, Google is going to appeal this. And this stuff's far from settled. But in this moment, I think this is part of the long-term play from Microsoft, where they're like, we'll get so many games, and then if the regulation changes and we can have our own app store on these other platforms, we'll do that, and that will be how we win the future. So.
Does that lead to things like Microsoft being able to say, "Hey, we're putting Game Pass on PlayStation, whether Sony likes it or not"?
Yes.
Wow.
what
At least
about
a form of it? Yeah.
Grub? What about they just make more games and just put them out normal styles?
Yeah, right. This continues to be like the best criticism of Microsoft in this moment. It's like they seem like they're playing this legal long game and hoping that regulation is friendly towards them. And meanwhile, they have a lot of people who want to spend money on their games if they would put out games worth spending money on. So, yeah, it continues to be kind of frustrating. But they also might be right about this. It does feel like this is the way the wind is blowing.
Was Redfall this year?
That was
No,
last year.
it was last year.
Oh, God, okay.
This was
all right.
this year was Suicide Squad and Skull and Bones and Concord for the
Concord.
big flops.
Yeah. Man,
It's Mount Rushmore of flops.
Yep. They're using
Maybe
right
the
there.
Starfield expansion. I don't know how it's actually doing, but
I thought it
reviewed
was-
poorly.
Oh,
Oh, it reviewed very poorly.
They got
Okay.
it's like at like a 58 right now on
Ooh,
Metacritic.
never
Oh,
mind.
Yeah, it's rough. Xbox co-founder J Allard has joined Amazon. J Allard is back. Let's talk about Velocity Girl. Xbox co-founder J Allard joins Amazon as vice president of its devices and services team. He said he doesn't even really. It's like too early to even talk about what he's going to be working on, but he says something new.
I was not aware of Velocity Girl, but I'm now looking at their wiki. This is J Allard's band?
Oh, wait, did he name his band Velocity Girl?
Oh, wait. When I looked up Velocity Girl, I just see a band, and I assumed
Velocity
that's what you
Girl
were talking
was
about.
from the Xbox 360 reveal event when he started talking about like the other kinds of people who are going to be getting an Xbox 360. It's going to be Velocity Girl, and she's going to be designing skateboards that other people use in the games because she's not playing the games.
Oh, is this the one where you're sitting on the stage being cool?
This is yes, this is full hoodie and blazer J Allard.
This is the
as you
J
see-
Allard
As
appearance.
you picture him in your head when you close your eyes.
Okay.
Yes.
Huh.
Absolutely.
I don't remember
Velocity.
Velocity Girl.
Yeah, I
No,
didn't remember
wow.
either, and now I'm like Velocity Girl.
Velocity Girl and then God, like Lord Time or something was like the hardcore game player, and there's the other guy who like really liked
these are
HD TVs.
personas. Okay.
Yeah, they're personas. Yes, you can go take these back to Matt.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it.
Jeez.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, what do you think? What are they doing at Amazon? Probably something stupid.
They're probably making a handheld, right?
Yeah.
Why?
Why not? Why not?
It's Amazon.
Because they have money, you could make one and put the Amazon name on there, and it might be all right.
I
Could be a bunch of
buy
these.
plenty of knockoff Chinese handhelds on Amazon already.
Yeah, I think, when you think about Amazon's strategy long term, their motto has always been your margin is our opportunity. So when they look around, they see like, well, Valve is already subsidizing the Steam Deck, but that's not the only player in town. All these other ones have to sell for higher amounts of money because they cannot subsidize. They're not going to make money from selling games. We, one, can make money from selling games, and two, we can subsidize the cost of the hardware because we make enough money that in volume we'll make that up and it'll be fine. So they could come in with a very competitively priced handheld PC gaming device that is exactly as powerful as anything else on the market. They could buy enough from AMD to make it make sense. I think that's probably what they're going for here.
Is that Amazon MMO still popping off?
New World.
Yeah.
It's not popping off, but I think
Not
it's doing
popping
fine.
off. I think it's doing fine. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's better than any of their other games. But they also have recently said that they are like trying to get out of just being in MMOs. They want to make other kinds of games.
They're making a Lord of the Rings MMO still, which we'll
We
see what
have-
that's like.
Mike, don't we have an Lord of the Rings MMO already?
Lotro?
Yeah, Lotro's still out there somehow, but yeah, they're making a different one.
Yep. Lord of the
Oh.
Rings Online is what Lotro stands for. If you're
Is Elder Scrolls Online still a thing?
yeah, very
Yeah.
big
Yeah.
thing
Yeah.
actually.
Really?
Very popular. Yeah.
Wow.
Makes a lot of money for him, I think. J Allard, I'm just glad he's sticking around and still involved in games. I hope he's still wearing hoodies and blazers.
I mean, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, just saying like we'll not discuss the specifics yet. Just new ideas is all he's saying. But it's vice president of devices and services. That is basically what he did when he was in charge of Xbox 360. So I could see him trying to design an Amazon handheld that then has like reminiscent of Xbox Live in terms of its presentation for the services.
I wonder if like a bit of a race is on now. Like Amazon's probably working on one of these. Xbox certainly working on one of these.
PlayStation probably. Too.
PlayStation probably working on one of these. So yeah, like everyone's gonna try to get these things out there. It's gonna be interesting to see what they all look like. And meanwhile, Switch 2 will probably come out before any of them. Maybe it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I'm really excited for the Switch 2 to come out because I just want Nintendo to make a bonkers decision and then it just lands with everyone and then everyone else is playing copycat for the next 5 years afterwards.
You'll get your weird wearable or your weird desk clock that watches you sleep.
God, please give me the goddamn watch, Nintendo.
Watch me sleep, Daddy Nintendo.
There it is.
That's
Ubisoft acknowledges buyout reports, says we regularly review options. There was a report that the Guillemot family was considering taking Ubisoft private in conjunction with Tencent. Like Tencent would help fund the process of taking Ubisoft private. That seems to probably be a serious conversation. Ubisoft is downplaying it though, because obviously if it's not settled, it could have massive effects on its stock price. It would send it up more than likely. And if it, they probably want to kind of keep that stuff in control for now until it's actually something that is going to happen. Yeah, I mean, mostly this is interesting because Ubisoft is a massive employer of people who make video games, and it just feels like they are in the toughest position they've been in, and they've been in a lot of tough positions. So how are we feeling about the future of Ubisoft?
looking real dour, boys.
Yeah. I hate that they actually made one of the best games this year in Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, but like that, doesn't like that doesn't really matter because like the actual game that was supposed to hit for them, this big Star Wars open world thing, just didn't. And like, what's going to change really in the market for the next time they want to do one of those? The only real card they have to play is Assassin's Creed, maybe Far Cry when they put another one of those out, but even that seemed like it was slipping a bit. And it seems like their only solution here is to just ride that Assassin's Creed train until it goes off the rails again, which has happened before. We know that you can oversaturate with Assassin's Creed. There's no reason why it won't happen again. And, there's rumors that not only are we getting Assassin's Creed Shadows early next year, but a remake of Black Flag later in the year. And then there's like a million, Hex would be the next year. Is Assassin's Creed Infinite still a thing? I feel like I don't hear him talk about that anymore.
They've not really talked about it in any real way. So if it happens, it probably happens when if Black Flag comes out next year, but so does Invictus, the multiplayer.
Oh God!
When
so
that
three
happens,
Assassin's Creed games next year, cool.
So that'll probably be the when that launcher happens, Infinite, whatever that actually turns into.
Whatever it is, a portal or I don't
Yeah, is it just the thing that Call of Duty is, where there's the Call of Duty app and all the games live in there
what
now?
Fortnite
I guess.
does. Yeah, I have no idea what that actually means. Yeah, but like, don't feel great. I feel like something drastic. I don't know if it's literally this with Tencent, but I don't know if they're going to be able to be a public trade company if stock prices keep going down. And the only thing that's going to stop that immediately is Shadows delivering strong, which it could do, but it is going to be in a busy month. And we just see a lot of games not really hitting like they should. So if this game comes out and misses the mark even a little bit, that could be another disaster for Ubisoft. And they don't really have anything to point to be like, well, just wait for the Star Wars game that we're working on, the Avatar game working on. All they're going to have to point out to is just more Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, because it's the end of the rope. Because all the other things missed before this, like we don't even talk about how bad Skull and Bones did because it was so obvious it was going to do bad. Mm-hmm. But it's like you spent 10 years making that thing and it crashed and burned. But you knew that was going to happen, so you were kind of waiting for these two other games to save you, and of course they're not going to do that. Really,
Kabowski in the Giant Bomb chat. I think they're joking, but I think this could be a legitimate thing. But what are the chances of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia getting involved? I mean, we saw
it's not impossible.
We saw the news stories of them wanting to increase their stake in Nintendo.
And then it turns out they actually lowered it today.
Yeah, they actually apparently they reduced their stake in Nintendo.
Today, they heard Game Mess yesterday, and they were like, "All right,
we scared them off." Absolutely. I think that is the point here with this Tencent story, is that the Guillemot family feels like if they partner with Tencent, they can control this going forward, take it private, and have some control because they feel like Tencent just wants the investment. They don't want to take over. Whereas, like, in the meantime, if the stock price does keep going lower, there could be a lot of other entities out there that are looking for hostile takeovers where, like, they will just buy up all the stock available, force themselves onto the board, and kick the Guillemot family out. So, yeah, this is what they're trying to avoid.
And like, I don't want Ubisoft to go away. Again, like, Prince of Persia was very good this year. The Beyond Good and Evil remaster was very well done. It's like, they make good games.
They employ a lot of talented developers. Yeah.
Right. So, I want that shit to get figured out, basically. I don't know if Tencent money is what does it, but I just don't want them to go completely under or get taken over by a company that's just coming in to look and like split them off and sell their assets and IP.
I forget. Did they cancel that Immortal Phoenix Rising sequel?
Yeah, that was never technically announced, but yeah.
Right. Sure.
So that got canceled. Like, yeah, in terms of like future stuff, Beyond Good and Evil 2, we still think that's happening. It's still teased in that Beyond Good and Evil remaster. There's like Easter eggs about it. So
I'm sure they're still working on some version of that.
Learning how to code is very challenging for Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
That's right. It's gonna take him some time. Finally, sued Switch mod chip maker denies claims, all of Nintendo's claims, and will seemingly take on Nintendo without a lawyer. Orion Daly, a Switch mod chip seller, denies Nintendo's claims in a lawsuit and will represent himself without an attorney, at least so far.
You're not supposed to do that.
It's a bad idea, especially against Nintendo. Nintendo filed a complaint against Daly, alleging he continued selling modded consoles and MIG switches despite being warned to stop. Daly denies wrongdoing and lists 17 affirmative defenses, including fair use and invalid copyright. Man, good luck. The case moves to the discovery process where both parties gather evidence, with Daly representing himself. So probably going to be pretty challenging to figure out how to navigate that. Meanwhile, Nintendo's lawyers will be at Daly's house, being like requesting his emails and stuff like that, and with the backing of the law to be able to make that happen. So anytime he has incriminated himself, it's going to go very bad. But Nintendo continues to just be hunting with the hounds against anyone and everyone. And I get the MIG switch being like a pirating device, like that is the point of that whole thing. I get them going after that, but they're going to make an example out of you, and you're going to need a lawyer to avoid some like all-out salting of the earth of your entire life, because Nintendo doesn't seem like they're going to hold off.
No.
All right. That does it for the news. Jan, I'm handing the show back over to you.
Fantastic. Folks, we're going to take another quick bricky break, and we'll be back with some electronic mails right after this. Oh, wait. No, we're not coming back yet. Faded black. Folks, we've decided to make the executive decision to replace all of the segment music with Dan just waggling a bunch of joysticks. Dan, play the email waggles.
Okay, that's on this one. I bet you could tell the difference between Super Nintendo 64 and GameCube buttons if you really listened.
I remember SNES was not being super clicky.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Here's American SNES.
Emails.
Well, that's not a real controller.
Here's Super Famicom.
Weak.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
It does sound like crabs fighting.
Oh, cool.
Do the A and B and C buttons feel different? That's A and B.
Yeah.
Here's the C.
Sound pretty similar.
Yeah,
I mean, I think they're gonna have
Are they
bigger
chunkier on the
membranes
A and
on
B?
the A and B, so they'll have like a different give and take.
You know, for some reason, I feel like Nintendo would get mad at this still.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
yeah, sure.
It's like, how
I'm not
dare
mad at
you?
it.
Kyoto wasn't happy with your button clicking.
It went all the way to the
click
top.
the buttons. You're supposed to gently press the buttons. Bombcast@giantbomb.com is the email address to send your emails to. That's right, Scout. You can send virtually any and everything you want to hide from a public interaction and just pretend like you're texting someone. Write us an email. Tell us about the public place that you're at. Scout, please. First email comes. Okay, all right, we get it, dude. Chill. First email comes from Cooper in San Jose. What do you want?
I'm barely here, Scout.
Yeah.
Hey there, folks. In the same vein as Dan talking about which ones are mainline Mario games, I wanted to know his thoughts on which ones are mainline games for the Metal Gear franchise. And if he and Grub were to do a Metal Gear Solid akin to Metal Gear Scanlan, which games would you two be playing in order to play through this whole series? Thanks for the constant source of entertainment over the years, Cooper in San Jose.
It's easy, and I think we pretty much did it with Metal Gear Scanlan. You do the numbered games and Ground Zeroes. That's
Wait, no. There's no way you don't consider Peace Walker.
I consider
On
Peace
mainline.
Walker canon story-wise, but I've never played it. I kind of consider it the
Oh,
way
then
I
it's not
consider...
mainline. He's never played it, Mike.
Oh, and it's on a portable system.
That's
wow.
the thing. It's kind of like the Mario Land stuff, where it's like, yeah, okay, they exist.
Oh, so insane and
wow.
nonsensical.
Yeah, especially since Ground Zeroes is a direct sequel to it with like the same characters and like it doesn't make any sense.
Well, sure, it's important. Like you got to know the story of Peace Walker, and I've watched.
How
the
would we do
cutscenes.
that? I wonder. I wonder how we could possibly.
I watched the cutscenes for a couple hours instead of holding a goddamn PSP for 8 to 10 hours or whatever it is.
So why? But why isn't it mainline? It's literally made by.
No, it's
Hideki-
canonical, and the story is canonical.
Right, so why isn't it mainline if it's canonical?
It's on PSP.
No real game from the PSP. You and your weird thing with portables.
No, I love DS. I love GBA. I love 3DS. Vita sucked. PSP
Vita's
sucked.
Okay, all right, but the quality
Game
of
Gear's
the,
all right.
of the
But why does-
platform.
Yeah, why does your feelings about the platform matter if something's mainline or not?
Because it's not a real one. Like, okay, put it this way. Put it this way. I was at that E3, what was it, 08, 09, whatever it was, press conference, and the Sony one. And Hideo Kojima came out, and he was talking about how mainline Peace Walker was. And he was like, no, this is like the real deal next Metal Gear game. It is Metal Gear Solid 5. And if it really was Metal Gear Solid 5, why did they make a Metal Gear Solid 5?
So you don't believe Kojima now, so we don't have to worry about what Shigeru Miyamoto said about Yoshi's Island now.
Right, you went to the source, and the source just said the
Well, but I'm
thing.
saying he himself kind of went back by making it. I think him calling Metal Gear Solid 5, I think that was kind of a like, okay, yeah, we all know.
Yeah, but
Peace Walker
Miyamoto
wasn't
made
real.
the Nintendo Museum and put Yoshi in the
I don't
line
think
over
until you show me footage of him putting that display together.
You conceded last week.
What did I concede?
Never mind.
No, I don't think I did. No, I don't think I conceded anything.
Really? No.
I pray to God that Dan considers me mainline, or else I won't. He'll never acknowledge me.
You're top line, main line, absolutely. Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
sometimes series don't number and then they number again. Like Assassin's Creed did that a bunch of times.
Yeah,
Assassin's
I
Creed
mean, they
doesn't
did
matter.
that to sell the most copies possible without making
Yeah,
people
you're right.
worried who didn't play Like, that's a marketing decision, is the
Yeah.
reason that's called 5.
Kingdom Hearts does it all the time too, and I know you don't care about
Kingdom
Kingdom,
Hearts doesn't
but
matter.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, they have mainline entries on portable systems though, so that's why it's
Yeah.
a good analogy here.
No, I'm sure I've heard Peace Walker is good, or I've heard it's the greatest game of all time based on certain.
Yeah, I don't think that
games.
either. I'm not even a big Peace Walker fan. But quality has no bearing here on if it's mainline or not. Of course, it's a mainline Metal Gear Solid game.
I
I'm
will-
not saying
here's one-
portable ops is.
Here's something I'll do is that because I know you can play Peace Walker. That's not on the collection, but you can play it on the HD collection.
It'll be
right?
on the next collection.
with
though.
online. Okay. Well, my sister's going through Metal Gear games now. She's almost done with 3. If Peace Walker is a thing where you can easily hop. Here's the thing: can you just like party up and then play the whole game together, or is it just like every once in a while at a
have to
boss
play
fight
it
you can do it?
multiplayer, you know.
Yeah, but like,
But I
But
bet
it's
that might be a good way
mission-based.
for me
Yeah,
to
you
do
could,
it.
You could very easily play multiplayer. Yeah, because you kind of like go mission by mission. You could just like have 4 people do a boss fight mission real quick or something like that.
But
was
it's
gonna
not
say-
like, can you play the whole game co-op? Because I think I remember it being a confusing thing.
I think so. I think you might have to regroup for each mission. I don't know. I did not worry about the co-op stuff when I played it.
oh, maybe the
not concerned.
compadres got to get back and connect over some Peace Walker. You know, that
Oh,
sounds like a
yeah.
good
Okay,
time.
that could be fun.
I'm not against the idea of it, especially since like I think that I started it and I played like an hour of it, and I was like, I hated the whole like Monster Hunterification of it, where
Yeah,
it's like
there was a
individual
Monster
missions.
Hunterification that I also did not love. Yeah.
But then they kind of did that with 5, and I fucking loved 5. So now that I'm like open to that idea more of like these individual missions and stuff, I am open to the idea of becoming a Peace Walker guy. But as of now, I don't think it's a real
What
one.
about Acid? You want to do Acid?
But there's
I
still,
reviewed Acid 1 and 2, did not love those. No. Portable
there's still
Ops,
nothing what you
okay.
say that explains why it's not a real one, other than I didn't play it and I
It's on
don't like it
PSP
or
and
portable
it's weird.
games.
And I didn't play it.
I noticed something about the handhelds that you prefer, Dan.
What's that? Nintendo?
Sony poo poo. Nintendo.
I mean,
Well, he
Yeah,
doesn't like
He
Game
hates-
Boy
he hates
either.
Game Boy.
I don't like the first Game Boy at all. I don't like mobile games. I specifically like GBA, DS, 3DS.
okay.
I own the Game Gear, but the Game Gear kind of sucked. And
I
the
would
Game
play
Boy sucked.
for if I were to play all the Metal Gear games, I would also play Revengeance. I don't care if it's not mainline.
I mean,
that-
we have a
that's worth-
podcast that that game is named after.
That's right.
Yes, Revengeance is great.
All right, next email comes from Matt from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Hey guys, my son needs yet another Xbox controller after stick drift is showing up again. Is there a wireless option with Hall sensors that I should get instead of just another Xbox controller? I realize that they're more expensive, but at this point, it seems like a good investment over spending $70 over and over again. Thanks.
Yeah.
Matt from Murfreesboro.
The 8-bit though, what is it? Are they the pros?
Ultimates? The
Yeah,
Ultimates.
Ultimates.
I like
yeah.
those.
It's this one, but not actually this one. The one for the PC, at least at launch, didn't have Hall sensors, but the Nintendo ones with the Nintendo buttons did have Hall effect sensors. So yeah, go grab those. That comes with the stand. It keeps it charged all the time. It's so nice. As soon as you pick it up, it turns on, and then you shake it to turn on the Nintendo Switch,
not true.
which is an amazing party trick, and some people still don't believe it to this day.
It's not true. I own that controller. I own a Switch. I do
done-
use
I've
that
done it
controller for my
every day of
Mister.
my life.
It doesn't turn on my Mister.
Well,
It turns on all my misters. I don't know what you're talking about. when I shake it.
anytime. Okay, audio listeners, anytime there's a pause after someone says something, I just
Yeah.
need you to look at the non-existent camera in
Yeah,
your
look
life.
at your car dash
Right.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Sean, if you can you include an image or a link to an image in the description of Dan doing that? Maybe we can make it a GIF or something. Yeah.
You
so
want
you
a
can
clean
just
one, no
open that.
microphone? Okay, well, here,
Here,
I'll try to
here's-
do a
here's a
restrained
clean
one,
one.
just the classic mic here. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I'm just
God.
gonna look. All right. Oh, there it is.
Whoa,
He's like,
that's the consistency.
I think we already had
I-
Nemo, but that's another take.
He
if you
just heard
want.
a dirty
Yeah.
joke right there.
I like when you shake a lot too, though. when you do it.
Hey, yeah, can we do a clean one? Let's do a clean one of that. Let's do a clean one of that,
Clean
Dan.
shake one? Okay.
That's
clean
really
shake.
good,
All right,
yeah.
all right, say something vaguely sexual.
Hang on. All right. Come.
Wow, you're just like Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice.
That's good stuff.
Wow, the range on Dan Reichert. folks.
It's vaguely sexual.
Yeah, very, very subtle.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm
Yeah, which
very
one
subtle
was
with
he
my
saying?
sexual references.
Good show.
Maybe he just wanted someone to arrive. Next email.
That's
Don't
the
know
best
who-
joke from Golden Girls. when what's her name, Rose, I think, is talking about when her husband died, and she's like, I was so confused because he kept saying, "Honey, I'm going," instead of, I'm all right. It made me laugh a lot.
Oh, he died during sex.
Yeah, he died during sex. That's an important part. Yes.
Oh, died
I'm going.
during
sex. Yeah, it was
Got
good.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's your Golden Girls update for the week. Next email sent from Yahoo Mail for iPhone. I'm watching this past week's voicemail dump truck, and when you brought up Mike and Dan being taught hibachi via Benihana school, I couldn't help but mentally picture them showing up for class wearing a Mario hat, Dan, and Mickey Mouse ears, Mike. In my opinion, you guys could actually convince them to train and then have a Hibachi Showdown during the Game Awards to settle their long-standing Mario versus Mickey beef. Since I'm writing this to the Bombcast mailbag, what challenges would you guys envision for such a grill-off?
I mean, clearly distance tossing into my mouth food.
Yeah,
Like, yeah.
they might be better at that. I think I'll be way better at knowing when the meat is done, right?
I don't know, man. I chopped up a sweet potato yesterday and air fried it. I made sweet potato fries. I am trying legit to get a healthy. I'll tell Chef Reactions all about this on Thursday and impress him. But I am trying to redo the diet a little bit because I realize it's been all Japanese candy and beer for the last 2 weeks and garbage food, garbage sleep. So I'm I bought broccoli. I bought sweet potatoes. I'm trying to because I don't eat veggies at all. So I'm trying to at least one thing a day have some veggies.
So wait, sweet potato you're gonna classify as a veggie?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, sweet potatoes are good. They're good for you.
They're good for you, but they are level one of if we're talking about health foods. They are
it's
healthier
still a
than
level
potatoes.
up from what I was doing, nothing but Taco Bell and Domino's last weekend.
It is a level up from that,
Sunday.
sure, but it is a long way from leafy greens.
Well, okay. Then right after this, I'm going to make a thing of broccoli florets in the air fryer and put a bunch of seasoning and stuff on it. It's going to be great. Some olive oil, toss it around.
I thought they're supposed to be very nutritious. I mean, they
are nutritious, yes. But
they're super good for you. I don't know.
It's a step up, I'm sure, from what I've been doing. So I'm trying to just some vegetables. Asparagus, I'm going to get into.
Really
I'm going to try to
easy
make
to
some
overdo.
Brussels sprouts. What's that?
Really easy to overdo asparagus, Dan. Be careful.
I like crispy. So I think I underdid the broccoli yesterday, but trying to figure out a better diet approach thing because I got the whole running thing down, but it's you can't outrun a bad diet and stuff like that. And I got a bad diet, so I think give me a week or two and I'll basically be Chef Reactions.
Yeah, you know what? I can't wait. Also, you can eat a good chunk of vegetables raw. It's also fine to do that.
No, don't do that. Ugh.
Eat raw broccoli. Raw broccoli is good.
No, what
raw
the
carrot
fuck?
every day.
No, don't. How could you say that?
I will eat.
How could you do this?
I will eat a raw onion like it's an apple.
Oh yeah, that's fine. I'll bite an onion like an apple.
Jan, next week can you bring a head of
do that
broccoli?
right now.
And eat? Do you have a head of broccoli right now?
I have a raw onion in my fridge.
No, I really
do
not want to see
we have
you
to
eat
see
raw
Mike
onion.
respond. We have to see Mike
I'm
react.
just going to close my eyes. I can't look at it. I literally
Mike,
can't.
Be a trooper. Mike, be a trooper.
I'm
Mike,
not going to
do
look
us
at
a
it.
favor here. Are you a professional, Mike?
You're mean to me all the time. Why would I do you a favor?
Oh, good. Give Reddit fuel.
I'm not going to look.
Secret bully, Dan
You
Riker.
gotta be a big boy here. You can do this.
No, you're the one who wanted this content. I didn't. I don't
Wait,
have
you
to
want
look.
this content?
It's the idea that the onion is too juicy and it's going to be
It's way
fruit-like.
too watery. So much gross water's going to come out of there. It's going to be disgusting.
I mean, God, it sounds appetizing to me.
All right,
But
Jan, you got to get right up on that mic with it.
I got two things though. I got a jar of raw garlic.
Oh yeah,
Garlic's fine.
do that.
Let's just
That's
prep
Italian.
the
That's
garlic.
an
okay.
appetizer. That's an appetizer.
Mussolini would just eat a bunch of garlic cloves
my
in
God. I think I
oil
could
for
just
lunch.
eat this like chips. Oh, it's so
Oh, that's
delicious.
nice. That's nice.
Oh, okay.
Mike, be a big boy.
Okay.
I can look at
Mike,
garlic.
hands
That's
down,
fine.
Mike. Hands down, Mike.
No, you're gonna
No.
get both.
Do we want me to eat a white onion or a red onion?
I think you take a bite out of one like an apple.
Okay.
Okay.
Folks at home, here's the onion.
Mike, you can do this.
It's
Right?
it's not a whole onion, Mike. It's just
Yeah,
it's gonna be
look
less
at
juicy.
it.
Pretend it's
Okay.
cheese. Pretend it's cheese.
I couldn't look.
He turned away as it was happening. Did you hear the?
I
At
didn't
least
like it. I didn't like it.
Mike, he's got to do it again now. You're going to make Jan do it again. You got to watch.
No. Oh, it's terrible.
okay. We're gonna need a clip of this to show Chef Reactions.
Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, I think that's going to be among the least of the crimes for Chef Reactions. Which, by the way, if you were calling in with voicemails for Chef Reactions, we did realize that he did not hear the flavor crystal story on the first episode. So if anyone wants to queue him up for that with a voicemail,
There you go.
Yeah, we'll have some good stuff for Chef Reactions on Thursday.
I don't know why, but my mom used to tell me if I started feeling sick, I just had to eat half of a raw onion and I'll feel better. So I've just been doing that since I was a kid.
Wow, your mom lied to you.
Does it work?
I don't get. I rarely get sick.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, most people only get sick sometimes. It's true.
Some people like get sick all the time. Anyway.
Um,
All right.
Did you like that, Mike? Do you want to do it?
no.
Mike, would you rather do that or a bite of an apple?
I don't think you can see the difference.
Yeah, it's like I'm
What?
kind of like confused.
Well, because it's not about the flavor; it's about the juiciness, and they're both like juicy orbs. He hates juicy orbs. It's his number one least favorite
Yeah, they seem
So a
very
bite
similar.
of an onion, a bite of an apple is a similar thing.
Very similar thing. Yeah, whatever. It's both hell. It both
Do you know
ruined my
that-
life.
Do you know that fruit are not water balloons?
Would
I
you
know
bite
that.
into
like-
a water
thing.
balloon?
They're like 90% water.
Would you
But
bite
it's
into
not
a
like-
water balloon, Mike?
He
Sure,
thinks
that'd be
it's gonna
fun.
explode. Like he thinks
It'll
it's gonna be
choke
like
on the
a
balloon.
tidal wave.
How did you feel about the Tide Pod drama when children were eating Tide Pods?
Me? Like, what? Do you think I endorsed it, or I didn't
Mike-
realize I had to like have a position?
Nope.
Yeah, I thought it was
If you-
fucking stupid.
If you kept playing the gamer rap, he endorses it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the problematic
My
part.
kid saw a Tide Pod the other day, and for shoot, her eyes basically dilated, and she's like, "What is this?" I'm like, "No, no, you
Oh.
can't eat Tide
It
Pods."
does look good. It does look
It
good.
does look
It
delicious.
does look very appetizing.
Eating
Yeah,
Tide
absolutely.
Pods
Candy.
is so cool. An apple has more water than a pool.
Bars.
Yeah.
Bars. Wow.
You haven't lost
calling.
the beat.
Move over, Lin Manuel.
In the eye of a slurricane, there is quiet.
All right. One more set of emails before we get on out of here. And
That was really
I'm
good.
so proud of you, Mike.
No, I saw that from Nikki from Worms, right? Or what's up things though?
I present to us the Fargo 5 time with Travis. Travis has blown up Travis here from Fargo has blown up the email meta. Instead of getting one of their emails on the show, they now have 5 of them because they just fire off quick questions. Exploit the Bombcast email meta. I'm going to ask 5 of their questions right here, right now. 1, are you brave enough to rank every UFO 50 game?
Not yet. I haven't
played them all
I have to
yet.
play them all. Yeah, but I mean, I will be at that point. I'm
Okay.
very brave.
All right.
That sounds like a revengeance waiting to happen.
Oh, God, yeah. I haven't watched much adult animation. 2, I haven't watched much adult animation, but I've recently seen Primal, Scavenger's Reign, and Blue Eye Samurai, which are very different from each other. Each has strong aesthetic, memorable characters, and intriguing storylines. Are there any mature animated series you've enjoyed that you would recommend?
Bible Black.
I knew it. I knew it.
That's a porn one, Dan.
Is that
I
not what
see.
adult animation refers to?
We're
I
talking about
talking about-
anime.
It's kind of fucked up to be talking about anime and only refer to it as adult animation. I have to say, is this all anime?
Primal isn't. Neither.
Okay. I like Rick and Morty.
Yeah,
I
I
just
guess
wanted to
that's
say that to see how
also.
you react.
Out. It checks
Just
out.
want to see how you react. Haven't
Rick
watched
and
Rick
Morty-
and Morty in a while.
That first season's really good.
It's real.
I-
That first
hey,
is real funny.
I do enjoy it. I still enjoy Family Guy.
Oh, that's rough.
First 10 seasons of like Simpsons and South Park.
Oh yeah, home movies.
You know what else-
still holds up really well. God, I love home movies.
I saw a clip. Oh, home movies is fun. I saw a clip of the Simpsons movie. It's so funny because that when that came out, I remember thinking like, man, I wish I like made this during like the golden era of the Simpsons. And now that movie is so much closer to that era than it is to like the weird Simpsons coming out today. It's like, oh, I'm glad they did the movie when they did. I guess.
Movie's fun.
Is like all of the cartoons that are targeted towards adults, like Bob's Burgers, is that adult animation?
Guess.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's for like broader audiences. That includes
Sure.
adults for
I
sure.
What
didn't
about,
watch
like-
it, but people really like that depressed horse show, BoJack
BoJack
Horseman.
Horseman.
Oh yeah.
I've heard I would like King of the Hill and Futurama.
Oh, King
I've
of the
never
Hill's
seen
very
either
fun.
of
King of the
them.
Hill's great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you'd like Futurama, Dan.
Probably would, yeah.
All right. I don't know. There's a bunch of the Netflix animated shows, like the League of Legends one is pretty. Arcane.
Oh yeah,
Arcane is really good.
It's
Castlevania. Castlevania's pretty good. Yeah.
Castlevania.
Cyberpunk one.
Castlevania was
Castlevania.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, the Cyberpunk one is good. There's a very pretty main character there. Okay, next question from Travis here. It's time for Giant Bomb to answer the question that has been burning up the internet for months. Do you wash your legs?
Yeah.
I think we talked about this.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, if
Yeah.
I'm in the shower, I'm gonna wash my legs. Yeah.
I do, but let's be clear, it is a pain.
And it's also, and I do also believe when dermatologists say it's pointless, but I do it because it's there, and I have the soap. Why wouldn't I do it? But dermatologists all like you don't need to do it that often. Like once a month is enough. But I wash my legs.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good.
100%.
Good.
You're already in there. Clean all
Yeah, you're
all
already
your
in there.
parts.
Exactly. Yeah. Now
Chat's very upset, including Nikki and Sean. I don't know what part they're upset about. We said we do it.
they definitely are on the side of like most people are, where it's like this is not even a question. Of course, you wash
Yeah.
your legs. Like yeah,
Oh.
but
Yeah.
I also having kids. I shower every other day now, for the most part, unless I'm going out, and then I'll shower, of course, before I go out. But like that, I think that is also something people can't handle, and it's like, nah, you're fine. Like I'm busy. I'm very busy now.
get
I wash my
stinky.
face
I have to
every day.
I got to shower at least once a day, maybe twice. I feel like I get stinky. I don't know.
Yeah,
Just
I mean,
living.
Yeah, I get that, but it's like my skin gets so raw if I shower, like especially twice a day, like which I have done at some point recently, and it's like, oh my god, my skin's so dried out. This
Are
sucks.
you just scrubbing the shit out of yourself with hot water? Is that why?
Scrub it, baby.
Well, I
No,
mean,
you
I
take
take-
cold showers.
I start with a hot shower, then go to cold at the end.
No wonder you don't like to shower.
Well, I love to shower.
I
when
love
I'm in there, I'll
showering.
stay in
It's
there for
the-
45 minutes sometimes. Yeah.
It's the best thing.
Wow.
It's like you like check in on me if I don't shower first thing in the morning. I might be depressed or something. I might need help.
Okay, I just got to ask. Turbo Sean says in the chat, this is the guy telling people to just rinse dishes instead of washing too. Who is he referring to?
I think he's referring to me, which is not my position. My position is
Okay.
if you are pre-washing, that's just washing, and you don't also need to put them in the dishwasher.
Okay.
Because if you
You're
are
not just saying run water over it and you're good.
No, if we're using soap and water to scrub
No,
it and then
that's
you put it in
silly.
the dishwasher, you're just wasting a lot of water.
Okay.
But if you rinse it, that you barely need to rinse because the dishwasher is very effective. But if you don't rinse all the food parts off, then the food gets in the little trap in your washer, and if you don't clean that out every couple of weeks, it gets super nasty in there.
Sean
So-
says that you once said just hot water is enough.
I definitely have never said that. I used to work at a wing place, and like we would wash the filthiest dishes you've ever seen. But of course, you have to use soap. It's covered in oil. That's how you get oil off, with soap. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I had to work one of the like industrial dishwashers when I worked at the pizza place. Those are so fun. It's
Yes,
like
those are
there's like a
great.
giant lever.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah. Put
and
it
it
in,
just
just like
There's like
so much pressure, it like gets clean
Yeah.
instantly. Yeah.
then you lift it up and there's just this giant cloud of steam that comes up. Ooh, I wish I had one of those. Made dishwashing dishes fun.
Have you all ever gone to a wine bar and they have one of those fancy? They look like a bunch of feather dusters, but they're used to dry the wine glasses.
No.
Oh, no.
I think I know what you're talking about. I haven't seen
Yeah.
one though.
Ooh. You know what was the most fun thing when you worked the concession stand at AMC when I was there was you open up the big ass ice machine and there's like a canoe paddle that you take.
Yeah.
Like break up all the ice. It's awesome.
You know, like the bars have like that sink with just the blue water, and they like put like the glass in there, like oh, and they just take it out. It's like it's clean now. Do you guys trust that blue water sink?
When I go to a bar, I understand that I'm going to be drinking grime.
Yeah, I sort of accept it. Like, do I believe that it's completely free of bacteria? No, but do I think there's enough bacteria on there to harm me? Also, no.
If you drink enough alcohol, it'll wash out your
Yeah,
everything
the alcohol.
inside.
Yeah,
kill
it's a
it all,
disinfectant.
Yeah.
It's fine.
My favorite thing over the weekend was Nikki and I door dashing food after we got back to their place, and they needed my face to confirm for the payment, so they just like rolled me over and held my phone over my face.
Oh, just like it's like a stealth game.
It was.
Mission Impossible here.
Yeah. Agent 47 Nikki. All right.
It's like Alone in the Dark where I had to cut that guy's arm off.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
It's exactly like that. Okay, two more questions from Travis here. Would you rather have Danny Trejo's contact info or a mystical bowling ball that guarantees at least 3 strikes per game plus free nachos at the concession stand?
Free nachos when you won me over with that.
Yeah, that's
God.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, we were at the baseball game yesterday, and I normally I like to get concessions, but Jeff and I ate so much barbecue at Mabel's. I didn't even get my hot dog, which is traditional. But at one point, somebody like came back in the row in front of us with nachos, and I was like, I thought about how good nachos are for like the whole next day. And I was like, God, I'm not hungry. Holy shit, nachos are.
I wish I was hungry at that. I went home and I didn't even eat dinner because I was still full from Mabel's. It crushed me. Yeah.
Plus, I bet we're like 1 degree of separation from Danny Trejo anyway, so I'm sure.
Yeah,
we can get
he's
that
been
if we
in like a
wanted.
lot of video games. We can make that happen. Give me the bowling ball.
Yep, bowling ball.
Bowling ball. Bowling ball. We wants the bowling ball.
Also, this doesn't guarantee just because we have Danny Trejo's phone number that he'll know it's us or want.
Yeah, and I don't really know what I'd want to do. Get him on the couch, I guess.
No, are we getting his number or his? Oh, we're getting his contact info. Yeah, I bet Danny Trejo's nice, but whatever.
It'd be cool to like know what his email address is, and it's
I'd have him
probably
on the
something
dump
funny.
truck.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure. I think the whole time he'd be on the dump truck, he'd just be like leaning over a table and thinking like, "You guys are so silly."
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
he'd be
you
right.
think I'm a silly goose.
Yeah.
Use
But then
those
he'd drop,
Chet email at email.com.
but he'd throw the most like brilliant knowledge darts to end the podcast. It'd be great.
Oh yeah.
All right, final question, which counts as the final email here. Do you have any clothing items that make you feel beautiful, confident, cool, or straight up sassy?
No.
No.
I like the Columbia hiking boots that Steph got me for Christmas.
Sick.
Yeah, well, especially now when I wear them with the ankle high socks and I scrunch them down around my ankle like the Gen Zers do. I'm like, yeah, hell, it looks pretty good. I look like a character that's going to go do something adventurous in a 90s movie.
Sick.
There are the few times I wear a suit, like if I'm like at a wedding, like when I officiated my Hardy's wedding, and where I had to get a nice suit and everything. Like, okay, like wearing it, I was like, I see why. Okay, this does feel good. It feels like I'm, this presents as like a serious person,
Sure. I do like, especially the suit jacket. Can't pull off the jacket's off and now I'm just in the shirt and tie. I don't like that look at all. So I'll wear the jacket long after I'm kind of like, not comfortable in it anymore. It's kind of hot, but whatever.
Mike, I will say when I did see you wear a blazer, was it at the Game Awards over a gamer shirt?
Rocketeer shirt, right?
That was
Rocketeer
like
shirt.
Games Beat stuff, yeah.
Games Beat stuff. I took you 5 points more seriously.
I understand, yeah.
I'm like, oh damn, Mikey needs business now.
Yeah, be a blazer guy.
I think because I got still a little bit of like the tummy chubs. Anytime I'm wearing a tank top and I cross my arms, like boob up, I'm like, looking good today, baby.
There you go.
But then I look down, I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have a donut today. Anyway, that about does it for emails. Bombcast@giantbomb.com is the email address to send your emails to. Send them in about virtually any and everything. You need advice about something gaming related, non-gaming related. We got your back like a JanSport. What do we got popping off for the rest of this week, boys? Game S Mornings.
MS
from
Mornings
Wednesday.
back tomorrow, yeah.
Thursday,
Voicemail dump
Friday.
truck with chef reactions on Thursday.
Worms
707.
Wednesday?
Worms Wednesday.
When's that?
Wednesday.
I don't know.
Okay.
Lucy's Blight Club.
On
Yes.
Friday.
Friday.
Yes, earlier on Friday. Set your watch.
We doing
it's-
Sparking Zero on Thursday?
Thursday. Okay,
also
let's
a
just
good
go
week.
through it by day instead of
No, but no
ping-ponging back and
scattershot.
forth.
People
Yeah.
love that.
Okay, yes. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. We're gonna play a bit of it on the website on Thursday. And then we'll have voicemail dump truck, like Dan said, with chef reactions. Still plenty of time to get your food related calls in. 707 exit flu. We're gonna have a metaphor ReFantazio podcast review cast on BCR this Friday. Dan is gonna lead the charge on that.
yes.
Yes,
That's
yes. We're gonna have a lot of fun people on that podcast.
Sean says the mini travelogue of me in Japan should be up later today or in the morning, pending the upload speed. And just check expectations. Most of the time I was in Japan, I was not allowed to film because it was on a floor of the Nintendo Museum that was not allowed filming. So I was able to get a few little shots and stuff like that here and there in Japan. So don't expect a 30-minute Germany travelogue or anything like that. But you should have something coming from Sean later today or tomorrow.
Also, there should be. I'm hoping it can come out this week. An interview with the writer of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Rita's Rewind that I did 2 weeks ago. Some fun stuff popping off in that. And boyos, I'm gonna try to vamp as I reset this dog's lure.
Just let it be dead.
No. Hold on.
Oh, that reminds me. My recording broke in the first segment, so we definitely got to do a clap at the end.
Yeah.
We always have to do it. Clap it.
Yeah, I know. Just really have to do it.
Okay.
Don't get Jeff shit when he messes up his recording. Everyone's mad at me.
They know that I feel guilt.
Yes, almost too much of it.
That's because you're a sap.
Yeah.
Boys, what did we learn today? Only a couple things. We learned that we learned that we're all comforted by the wiggles and waggles of analog sticks. We learned that Kate Bush is the godmother of EDM. We learned that Mike Minotti got bars. And we also learned that outside of Dan Reichert's house are Lisa Frank style intimidators. Folks, you shouldn't be intimidated by reaching out to a friend today. Reach out, touch some goddamn grass, go soak the sun, feel the rain on your skin. God damn it, and drink some water. You have been beautiful today. Everyone has been beautiful today. I am proud of you. Folks, that about does it for today's episode of the Giant Bombcast. He's been Dan Reichert. He's been Mike Minotti. He's been Jeff Grubb. You have been beautiful at home, and I've been Jan Showa. We'll see you next week for another episode of the show.
Detroit won.
All right.
We might be able to get Bruce Campbell on something actually now.
Oh yeah,
Easily.
Yeah. No, we got a direct.
Oh, yeah.
He's a Michigan boy.
No, we got a direct line.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you later. Goodbye.